Boom, we're live and direct, man. Live and direct, baby. Bare nervous niggas in the house.
What's the safety word?
Bananas. Thailand.
What, Thailand, yeah?
Route 66.
So what does Thailand mean?
You know what, Tim? You should actually do a travel podcast.
You think so?
100%. I think you should.
I think you got enough stories, and I think you got enough pictures as well.
And the thing is, you could say, you
or
can
blog.
Yeah. Now, the reason why I not say blog is because I think, like, you know, when you're telling a story, you can't really tell it too much in words. But when you actually
how should you how should you produce it?
I think like exactly like what we're doing now, but having a conversation with someone and then like just talk about the holidays and then you convince them to, like, if you like got like drugs and that, convince them why they should go to Thailand and go to this place because this place is nuts. But if you want to go somewhere cheaper, like, what's your budget? Okay, cool. Your budget's that? Okay.
So like
let's go here.
Like a review type of blog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like you could say,
Well, you've gone to exactly the same places I have.
From day dot as well. No, but you know the thing is, there's a lot of people on YouTube and on Facebook that do these like they basically live their life just traveling and then they're selling products whilst traveling. Whether that'll be like marketing training products or whether they'll be like traveling brochure products and stuff like that. So I think that's something similar that Imran's talking about.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you'll be more relatable than these bronies.
Yeah, maybe.
But I'm saying you don't have to go to all these places. You just got to show that you've been to these places.
Talk about previous experiences.
Yeah. So
I think visually they look better when you're actually there, though.
Yeah, obviously no, but you can't. You have to start from somewhere, innit?
Maybe you should start doing it then.
And then the company will just say, you know what? Okay, cool. Take a punt at this guy. You know, see what he's saying. He's got the body. He's got the tats.
So you're just pimping out to him.
Yeah, basically.
But I think what the way people make money through that is through companies like advertising on their platforms. So when you've got a platform like that, then you're bound to get travel companies advertising for you, and then you're bound to get travel companies paying and sponsoring you to travel, just so they can blog and review.
But you know what you got? You got to be smart. I think you know what people. I think you got to do it reverse way. You got to see that get a niche market. Like say for example, contact one airlines that you know, just do a whole review on them, but obviously they haven't paid you whatever, and just show them, look, this is what it's come up to. You know, this is how many people have seen it, and they know that you're going to be friendly with them because you've already done a review on them. Do you get me? And they'll be like, okay, let's try them again. Let's see what it does. So you're not doing it where they've paid you, then you're doing a review. Doing a review of what you've already gone through and what you've seen already. I don't know.
So you're selling your old stories to them, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe he's booking a couple of holidays for next year and try.
And what you use and why you use it, booking.com, your little tricks and stuff like that. Man, I think.
But if you was to pick a market or like an area in the world that you'd be specialising, where would that be?
Well, it has to be the Far East, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be.
What, East Asia?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but you can do that. I think you could twang. Is that when we're all chilling in Blacks and we tell them the stories of Thailand, that they twang. They want to.
They just want someone time to walk through it, innit? It's just like show me what it's like.
Okay,
what's that word? Vicariously.
Yeah, they're like, oh wait, but I'm gonna get moved to by ladyboys in the club. No, they're not allowed.
No, they're not even allowed.
They're not even allowed. But you know, do you get me? Them kind of little things. I think it'll work for you anyway.
I think the concept is in like exposing it to people who wouldn't otherwise be exposed to certain areas.
Yeah.
But we've kind of technically done that throughout our lives and through our travels anyway, exposing it to particular people in our area as well.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm
holidays.
saying. Like if anyone, when it comes to traveling, they come to us, right? Do you get me? And even when we're doing traveling, we say, "Oh, Tim, check it out." Even though he does shit.
Because Tim's the most reliable, by the way.
I think this is part of the whole. Yeah, you lot are sick. Okay, cool. Take another drink.
No,
that might be something I'll consider still.
Yeah. Just do it on a little part-time basis. You don't need. I don't think you need all this kind of setup because I think this takes too much time.
But nowadays you can do stuff like this with just on your phone anyway.
Yeah.
Just turn your phone on yourself and then just edit it on like iMovies on your phone or whatever. I know people making sick videos on YouTube and then you find out that they're just done on their iPhone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? With no like additional equipment or whatever. So
That's the
If
thing.
you haven't got the time, you can go on Fiverr and then you can just send them the raw thingy and then pay them like £10.
I won't lie, I signed out of technology years ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's like in terms of doing all this type of stuff, I signed out years ago. So
Yeah, I
need
know,
to
but
just
you- I
bring
think-
now you can bring yourself up to speed quickly, though.
Yeah, very
So yeah, maybe it's something I'll start looking into. Actually,
No, definitely. What was the last holiday though?
last holiday is probably it was Brazil. Last proper holiday
Last
was
proper
Brazil.
holiday,
Yeah,
yeah.
last proper Rio.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best as well. actually.
100%, definitely. That in Thailand.
Yeah.
That in Thailand year one.
First year Thailand.
First
yeah,
year
yeah.
Thailand was
Honestly,
the
I,
one.
I feel obviously I haven't been to every country in the world, but I don't think there's nowhere better than Thailand.
Yeah,
It's got everything.
Thailand's where the heart is. You know, it's got everything you
It's
need.
got culture, food. It's got adventure, nightlife, day. You can go with family. You can go with friends. You can go with wife. You can go with.
I think the combination makes it perfect, man. It's just that ideal for like anything that you're after, really. So.
Exactly, and the opportunity cost, the economic value of it, spending like what you can get a decent flight for about £500. You know,
Timber, you can get a full
What was
meal.
that rice meal? Was it like $6 or something?
When I tell people,
What
yeah,
was that fried rice meal?
when I tell them that, okay, cool, what? Don't go to them mad restaurants. However many bugs you can see here, the more bugs you can see, that's probably the best food.
the best thing. It's
You know,
the
like-
most legit one.
5 bugs, that means you're getting top notch stuff.
Plastic seats outside.
Trust me.
You know, throw away spoons and forks and
But
whatnot. You're good.
that was quite cool though. It's all part of the experience, and I'm glad we weren't bougie thinking that we have to go to like those restaurants and stuff like
But
that.
I think that's what most people miss out on
Sometimes
when
you
they
have
go
to
on
have that
holidays,
little
though.
bit of.
No, yeah,
One
sometimes
night.
sometimes you want to treat yourself. Do you know what I mean? Go to
Expensive
experience one of
fishes.
those. They got like the sky bars and whatever. You know? Oh yeah. Well, no, that was like the second, third night or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, who wants to tell that story then? With,
Go-
the,
you
with
go
the expensive
for it, man.
seafood. That's Tim's story, because Tim's one that put a spirit. What happened with the expensive seafood story?
For me, it wasn't that though, innit? We all went out. We all went out late at night. What was it, about 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning or something? It was the end of the night. You told the cab driver, look, take us to a place nice. We need to eat. What's open now? Take us somewhere to eat. So of course I've already got some juice in my system. We get there to eat now. Everybody's ordering food, and me sometimes, you know, I do fall into that the cliche of Tim likes the nicer things. So I start ordering seafood. Unbeknowingly, they're doing it by the weight and not by the price that's on the on the menu. So I order some. What was it? A lobster or
I
something?
think it was a lobster.
Yeah. I
It was
ordered
a
a
heavy
lobster.
lobster as well, one of those big
Bruh.
ones.
Lobster. Man, let me pick the lobster as well. So yeah, whatever one you want, you take it. Alright, then cool.
I was thinking we have to start washing dishes, bro.
Bro,
Yeah. End
that
of the
was
day,
really-
we don't have the money on us because we left all of it in the club at the bar.
Oh,
So we had to go back to the hotel.
Do we have to go
Yeah,
back?
they followed us to the hotel. Yeah.
Serious?
To get,
Yeah.
to get money.
Why did I not remember that?
Bro, it was peak. We left all of our money in the club at that time, and we were excited as well because it was like our first couple of days out. We were in Bangkok before we went to Phuket. So we were completely broke by the time we got to the place to eat, and then we ordered by the way, and it came up to what, like 100 something odd pounds.
No, but
Yeah.
I ordered this fish. It was normal price. It was just Tim's one.
Yeah, but then combined, because we were meant to all pay together, you know what I mean? Because obviously we were riding out together. It wasn't just Tim on his own. So Tim put us in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I put my hands up to that one. But again, it's a learning lesson, isn't it?
experience,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a learning
It's something that
lesson.
we can laugh about.
Well, now we can, yeah. At the time,
At the
it's kind of serious.
To be honest, I don't actually remember fully like
Yeah.
them following us or anything.
No,
The only thing I remember is taking a piss out of Tim. Like,
Nah.
What's wrong with you,
We
like?
got in a taxi back to the hotel. We ran upstairs to get there.
then we had to go back, or they came with us.
No, I think they came with us, so they collected the money.
They came with us.
Yeah. The reason why I remember it, because I got a picture where we were sitting there eating, and I remember having this striped polo top, and I had my glasses on, and I took one of these mad trendy pictures where I'm staring into the sky, and everyone's just sitting by the table.
Yeah,
So I'll
yeah.
never ever forget that restaurant just because of that picture.
I remember the restaurant. I remember exactly how we were sitting, everything, but I just don't remember the last bit of the story. I don't know why.
Yeah, because you're twisted or something.
The money blinded you, bro. Once you realised we had to pay Tim's seafood by the way, yeah, then you forgot about everything else.
Exactly.
But that just reminded me, obviously just before the turn of the year, I went to Ghana, and I had the most amazing time ever. And the thing is, yeah, you know what? When you go on holiday, you always get this like renewed sense of like being. You're like, okay, like I'm gonna go back and do my best now, so I can relive this moment. Because holiday puts you in like this deep spiritual moment where you're just full of joy, you're full of bliss and everything, and you want to relive that. And you know, in order for you to relive that and to continuously relive that, you need to make money, you need to set up businesses, you need to get things rolling. So it's motivational. Holidays are motivational. So coming back from Ghana, early Jan, I was like super gassed because I'd enjoyed myself in Ghana. I'd like splashed out. I'd had family. I'd done some business out there. Got a bit of land. Like I was excited for the year. I'm thinking, raw, like this is 2019 going into 2020. Thinking that 2020 is gonna be my year. You know the thing that everyone says at the start of the year. Super gassed, super charged up. I had so many plans, so many ideas. So then I go back to the UK now, and this was like late Jan, and I'm thinking, okay, cool. Like I'm hearing something going on over on the other side, over in China, over there. So I'm thinking, okay, it just put my mind back a bit when we had like swine flu and mad cow disease. I thought something's happening, but it's not going to be a big deal. You know what I mean? This year is still going to be my year. And I'm still going to take off. I'm still going to take over the year. I'm still going to do everything I'm going to do. All my plans are going to come into fruition. Come Feb now, things are starting to look a bit sticky. Because you're hearing that it's spreading and people are dying. So now I'm thinking, what's happening with this year? But I hope that it stays over there. Yeah. It doesn't come here. And this time it hadn't yet. So then I think in mid-Feb I took a little trip. I went to Germany. So I took a little trip and that, like a little weekend out. Came back and then like all of a sudden like I started to hear more word about like the spread of like COVID and coronavirus, and then the word started coming out again that there's a serious like disease which can potentially take over the world. But this time I'm thinking, like still going to the office and stuff like that, nothing major's gonna happen. It's not gonna hit us. It's definitely not gonna hit us. That's my mindset at this stage. So now come March, I remember, I won't forget March because obviously March was my birthday. So around like 4th of March, I went to get my haircut. Not knowing that was going to be my last haircut for about 5-6 months. Yeah. So I went and got my haircut because I was going out. Shout out Coco Kill, my boys. So went out to Coco Kill on Saturday the 7th. So went out, we had a great time. It was my birthday, it was lit. Like I was lit, everything was lit. It was a great time. Thinking, yeah, man, like this year's still gonna take off because now I'm in the zone again. I'm celebrating my birthday. I'm hyped up again. I'm full of bliss. I'm thinking, yo, this year's gonna pop off. I got so many ideas. Things are happening. And then I think about like
13th of March.
It was the 13th, yeah. Just before the 13th of March. Yeah, 13th of March. A lot happened personally as well. There was a loss in the family, a really deep loss. And then also now the pandemic. It's become a global thing. Yeah. Like it's everywhere. Like we're hearing everyone in Italy's dying. Like Italy's became the epicenter of the world at that moment of time. And then like it's spreading across the world. It's spreading absolutely everywhere. Now like I'm getting worried, thinking, like this might not be my year. This might be the end of the year. This might be the end of everyone's year completely.
Mate, 2020 was just. I just wrote it off. I promise you.
At what point did you write it off though? I don't think it's completely real now, but at what point, like during the whole like moment, did you think, this year is a wrap?
I would say after Feb, I kind of knew that I had my little one in February, and then after that, my world wasn't really. I wasn't really thinking about outside world. I was just thinking my own house, like my little one was born. Stuff like that. I didn't really think of anything else, and then I could, when you can feel it, something big is about to happen. Yeah. And then when it hit, I think again, like I said, just end of February, going into March, and then I got that feeling. I said, you know what, write this year off.
We went into lockdown in March, wasn't it?
Yeah,
was it around like
mid-March.
15th or so.
Yeah. So it's funny because you everything that you just said, you hit a lot of areas with that. So starting off in regards to like the holidays, I honestly don't understand people that don't take holidays. I understand where people can't take a holiday. Yeah. I understand that. But people, if you've got the opportunity to, holidays are a reset, and especially when you embed yourself in the culture and what's going on, because you get the opportunity not to focus on whatever priorities you've got going on home in terms of family responsibilities, job and whatnot. You can actually just let loose and actually be at one with yourself. So that in itself it's like a drug, It's just like, okay, then, this is how I want to feel. So when I go back home, it's going to redouble my efforts to allow me or afford me to live this type of lifestyle where I can feel like this all the time. But exactly like you said, so coming to the end of the year, early in the year, hearing a couple of stories what's going on in China, and I was very much in the same place. It's like when people are talking to me, I'm like, nah, man, it's not us, it's China. You know,
happening here.
It's not us, it's China, and that's the ignorance of privilege. Do you know, that's the ignorance of out of sight, out of mind. You know, it's all the way in the Far East. It ain't touching us, so honestly, we don't really care. Let's get on with what we really need to do. When again, we should have a duty of care as a global community to say, oh, there's something serious happening elsewhere. But that's what we do. We're just like, nah, I've got my own stuff to
You know,
to be dealing
it's
with.
serious when McDonald's, KFC, them man are shutting
When
down.
they shut down, exactly.
When they shut down, it's like, okay.
When major capitalist organizations
Yeah,
like are
because
shutting
these
down.
guys, they won't shut down for nothing.
Exactly.
From time they shut down for that, I thought, okay, this shit is real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's funny enough, though, because when people are saying that they've written off the year and people are saying, like, nah, it's been the complete opposite for me.
Yeah.
The last 18 months have been the most productive 18 months of my whole career.
For real.
Yeah, so within this time, I've had 2 promotions.
Sick.
You know, and something that I've been working so hard for, I've got to a place within my career where I'm really, really happy, I'm successful, I'm being profitable.
He's even buying bikes now for $5. That's how you know he's successful, bro. That's how you know a nigga.
So I'm trying to join the club today so I fit in more. You know, my face fits. Yeah. But yeah, I've learned a lot about myself, and especially within the lockdown as well. I was very much a person that likes to be in the office. I want to be in the office. I want to communicate with people. I want to engage with people. I want to get stuff done. And I didn't think I could work from home as effectively as I did. But actually, I've been even more effective working at home, and it's given me a lot of time for myself. You know, where have had the opportunity to start putting in place other plans, you know, past 2020, you know, future business plans. So although things have been going essentially tits up for most people in the world, then you can completely understand it.
So what Tim's saying is, his 2020's been lit.
My 2020's been
I
blessed.
kind of agree with him to a certain extent as well, because my 2020, I feel like it's been the same as well in terms of like personal progression and development. It's like, but you must be successful. You had another kid. Exactly. I mean, that's a blessing in itself.
No, I'm just saying. I think everything has its blessings. Like you get to spend time. Like those who are not working or who are working, you know, they got time to spend with their families, friends. A little bit of soul searching. You know, it gets you get more critical and you think, oh wait, imagine if something did happen to me, you know. And then you reflect on how you treat people and you know the relationships you have with other people. Then maybe you might, you know, engage with people differently than you were before. Because before, people, I think they were a bit more self-centered. Yeah. Or probably still are, but I'm just saying, this happening, it kind of made.
I think death and the fear of death puts things into perspective for people. Yeah. Like whenever you come close to like a near-death situation, you're like, whoa, I nearly lost everything now. So like now I have to potentially do everything better because I could lose it again. And you've been through that moment. Yeah. That's what I always tell people. Like I've got this thing, like, you know, us, we done some extreme sports. We jumped off mountains and stuff like that. And it's like, whenever people ask me, how could you do that? You're mad. You could have died. I'm like, you know when you actually come down, when you land? So like in Brazil, for instance, when we're in paragliding, the moment you land here, that's when I feel most alive. I don't know how you guys feel. It's like you've gone through that barrier. Yo, I ran and jumped off a flipping mountain. Do you know what I mean? And I managed to land. So now, like, there's nothing else to be scared of. Like, you've put your life at risk already. You felt that.
I think you said it like perfectly. This was like sometimes I think, what have we done? We're like 34 and what have we done? But then when you actually think about it, the things that we've done, it's actually quite amazing. Just like the time, and even like the friendships and stuff like that, and situations that we've been through all together.
100%.
I think that's something crazy.
It's like when you combine the stories. Like, have you ever sat there and pieced together all the stories, all the various things that we've been through, and just for raw, like, there's people probably twice my age that haven't been through half the stuff we've been through, because we actively went out and seeked it. And I think one of the things that helped us grow was definitely holidaying and like putting ourselves in situations where we had to like engage with other people that weren't like us. And when you come back more mature. You come back more.
I see it, obviously where we're from and stuff like that. I see it with a lot of the young ones. They were like us before. We were like, nah, it's just life is just Forest Gate E7. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing but Forest Gate. Do you get me? Repping it hard or whatever. That's all it was. And then afterwards, it clicked for us that time. Do you remember when we all jumped into the car and we drove to the is that about
Primrose Hill or something.
No. When we went to the estate agents.
Oh, estate agents.
Oh,
and we
yeah, the
brought
first time.
Smiley,
Okay, yeah.
I was like, nah,
Yeah.
we're gonna make this happen. So it was like, I don't know, about 7 of us jumped in one car.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to happen that way
Yeah.
because initially we was going to go Caribbean, remember, like Mexico or somewhere.
When was
And it was by chance, because it was in,
Well,
it was in the
first
shop.
Yeah.
First holiday,
Was it-
Caribbeans.
Was in your shop, remember?
No, I'm talking about our first ever Malia holiday.
Oh, Malia, okay.
When Tony came.
Okay,
everyone
yeah,
came out.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That was
Okay,
different.
yeah.
No, but the
I think that's when we started expanding.
Yeah.
When leaving
Okay,
Europe.
but you see, there's a. I think there was a massive step change in that. So when you look at the type of people that we grew up around and the people that sort of helped us navigate the world at that time, they weren't afforded those opportunities. You know,
Yeah.
they didn't know any better. So when we started proactively going out to seek these type of holidays, you take the first couple that we did go on, those
Right,
party
yeah.
holidays, they were still sort of closed off. You know,
Yeah.
they were
You still
still
went
within
there,
a
saw the
tunnel.
same people that you
Exactly,
saw.
because even when you go there, you're seeing people from North London that you know, South London, West London, and it's still around that same sort of mentality. And you don't really have to change. You don't have to engage with the locals, you know. But then after you start venturing out, where the English is not that good, you know, you haven't got great access to internet, Wi-Fi, to phones and whatnot. If you need to go and whatnot, so you have to engage with them. You have to understand actually what is it that you're serving me. Do you know? And through that, you get a greater appreciation for life. It's like, wow, these people are living this way, fine, you know, and I have got this snobbish attitude about certain things, about the way I live my life and whatnot. But it gives you a much greater appreciation, gives you a greater understanding of where your values should lie.
But
You know?
for me, I think that was the biggest tipping point. It was like, I was like, no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go on holiday. Everyone, just get your money together.
Yeah.
Jump in the Veeks, and we're going to book it there and then. And
No,
from then on, I don't think we look back. It's been like,
No, we didn't look back, man. It's been nearly like 2 decades now, bro.
it's crazy. When I explain that to
Even
people,
before that, even before going on holiday, I even remember the first time I even went to a rave and I had to wear like a shirt.
Yeah.
That was Tim, man, you know what I mean? Like I was a straight all black wearing tracksuit, but my mind was quite creative anyway. I wanted to like step out of that, but I needed someone to help me step out of that. Do you know what I mean? And I remember where we were going, the ministry of Sound.
Yeah.
I was Ministry of Sound. And then I said, oh, you have to put on a shirt and jeans. I think I had, you know them fake iceberg jeans, they was wearing one. I think I wore like one grey one. And I don't know who gave me the shirt. Was it you or someone?
You probably saw one of mine.
Probably took one of your white shirts. But then to make sure, that I combined it with my hood element, I put on the green jacket. You know the big green army jacket?
Yeah,
the German one that everyone
army
has?
German one.
But it's funny because going back to Tim's point about going on holiday and like engaging with like people in general, the locals, and how that helps you grow. Also engaging with other people from outside of your vicinity is an essential part of growing as well. So, because the thing about Europe, when you're in Europe, as you said, once again, we're dealing with people based in London, we're dealing with North, West, South, East Londoners, whatever. But when you step out of Europe, now you're having to deal with Australians, you're having to deal with Canadians, Arabs, people from all across the globe, and you don't know who I'm talking about because I'm mentioning people that we actually came across. And these people bring different experiences to your life, and they bring different caliber and characteristics of human beings to you. So you're having to learn how to engage with those people, and you learn to appreciate more when you do get back to London. So that's all a part of the growing process for me.
Exactly. I think, and the critical thing there is like what you're learning from them is actually, I can do the same things that these people are doing, you know. And when you're engaging with them and you're conversing, you're actually learning so much about yourself. It's like actually what you've just told me is something that I'll be really, really interested in doing.
Yeah,
Hence, you know, going to jump off cliffs and doing some paragliding and whatnot. So most definitely.
I would encourage everyone to do. I think it should be like essential, like
part of the curriculum, to go out there and
because
holiday.
like holidays, they do something. They do something different to your brain, and it's amazing. I can't even put into words like how I think how.
Someone told me that obviously the mind, like every part of your body is like it's a muscle that you can train. You know what I mean? And it's like if you're stuck in a particular like atmosphere or environment, you're only training your mind to be able to deal with what's within that sphere. So when you expand it out, you're growing. Do you see what I mean? And that's why it's essential to travel. And that's why it's essential to meet people outside of your immediate environment, because if you're there, you're just going to be stuck in like an echo chamber of thoughts and ideas, and everything is going to be the same. It's just circulating. It's like sitting in a car with the aircon on. Exactly. It's just circulating air you're breathing in. You're not stepping out to get fresh air, and that's what holiday does to you. You're getting fresh air now. You're getting introduced to new environments.
But that's why it's important, as someone who knows, I'm going to say this lightly, knows better. It's important for you to engage with, your younger community to ensure that they are taking all the opportunities that they can.
We try it all the time, but sometimes it's really hard. I think the thought just goes to probably like Amsterdam, or that's that. They're just so
But
narrow.
Amsterdam's basically London, though.
I know, but it's so narrow in terms of like their thought process of where to go.
But that's the thing. If you don't know better, or if you're not being exposed to it, or someone's
because I think honestly they'll be like us. There's not much different from us. They'll be like, once after they had that taste and that experience for another land,
get hooked on it.
You're right. It's like a drug. You always wanna go.
What was your favorite experience on any of your holidays? You've got so many.
Experience.
Damn.
Yeah. Or can you name one? If
Favorite
not your
experience,
favorite.
you know.
Mine has got to be full moon party first year. That was insane. Full moon party first year.
Why are you looking at me, bro? Full moon party, first year was
insane.
I can't come here.
I couldn't even.
I can't say yes. I can't say
what was
no.
happening.
Yo, yeah, full moon party first year was immense, bro. That's definitely.
That's a different beast.
Yeah. Wait, was that the one where we didn't have a place to stay?
We didn't. No,
we didn't have a place to stay.
24-hour thing.
No. Do you know what's sick about full moon party? Yeah, let's just take back the full moon party. Let's just talk about the journey even there. Forget even the actual party in itself. So full moon party, if those have been to Thailand, it's like you jump on a boat from we didn't take the bus that time, did we?
No, you have to get to.
Oh,
you have to get to the dock because it's on the other side of the island, isn't it?
We had to.
So from Phuket we took like about 9-hour coach, right?
Yeah.
And there was like they stop. So it's like a normal coach.
Yeah.
So they stop off at various towns and stuff. So during this whole journey, they're stopping off and they're picking people up and they drop people off. And the things are happening. Like the people are bringing chickens on, people are bringing babies, and other people are being forced off their seats.
We thought this was normal and we had to do it.
Yeah. I was pretending to sleep most of the time because I didn't want to give up my seat because I knew it was a mad long journey. Who was it that got forced off their seat?
Moses. He gave up his seat for
you
a
know
baby.
what? From that day, I knew that I wasn't a good guy.
You knew that Moses was a better man than you.
No. Honestly, I was ready to get up. You know me.
You offer.
I was ready to get up, but I think Moses got up first.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad.
Because that journey was a trek.
Yeah.
Yo. So we get on this mad long bus journey all the way to the dock in was the northern part of the island, or was it southern? Anyway, northern or southern part of the island, and then we jump on this massive like ferry boat. So it's similar to the one that takes you from Dover to France.
Yeah.
And on this ferry boat now, like that was the beginning of the party. That was when it was popping off. Yeah. So we get there and then there's all sorts of people there. Like we meeting like there's Canadians, there's Americans there, and like everyone's just like young, wild, and ready to have fun or whatever. So we were on the boat, and I think. Was it me and you that went to offer to buy everyone Chang beers? Or
we went to go get the Chang beers.
We went to get Chang beers, and then we come there now, and like, so you can imagine it, like everyone's just sitting down or whatever, just minding their own business, and we're screaming Chang, 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 and we started throwing beers to everyone. Everyone starts getting waved and stuff. Nah, it was sick. It was definitely sick. So what was it? And then there was like another guy me and you that met him on the docks.
Are you talking about the guy he's a window cleaner?
No. He's a he does fracking.
Close.
Fracking. No, he does fracking. Dank close for window cleaner. So he does fracking. So we met this
It's a weird job.
Yeah.
But I know he was saying that he earns a lot of money.
Yeah, he was doing fracking. So he was digging for like oil and stuff.
Are you sure he wasn't a window cleaner?
No, he was fracking, bro. I don't know he's got the window cleaner part from. So he's from Canada, I think, and he does fracking. And he's really young, and he was earning at that time, like he was earning like 60k, but he only works for 6 months.
Did he get in our coach with us on the way there?
Yeah, he got in our coach with us, to the dock.
Yeah.
So we met him as well there, and he was telling us this was his first time out there, telling us some wild stories about lady boys, and that's a story for another day. Yeah, so then we got on the boat. What was your experience like on the boat?
I'm pretty sure I conked out though halfway through. Didn't
You
I?
conked out?
Yeah, because I woke up and said, because you lot met some girls on the boat as well.
Oh yeah, we
You
did.
lot
We
on the
did.
balcony.
Yeah.
I'm saying, wait, I conked out and nobody woke me up.
Oh yeah, the party was popping off, and you didn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because that's when we started the Chang song.
Exactly. So by the time we docked and whatnot, ready to start, there was so much euphoria inside me. I had so much anxiety as well, and I was ready to go. I didn't know what to expect. And by the time, because we got there quite kind of late as well, it was a full day journey. And by the time we got there and we got to the main street, everybody was sort of raring to go. People were already getting
ready,
lit up. People
streets
face
were
paints
packed.
and whatnot, and people started heading down towards the beach. And the way my heart was pumping and my blood was pumping, I was like, "This is it." No, and it's not even music we mess with. Do you know what I mean? But I was in the zone. You know, you're in the zone, and you get to the beach, and then it was all over.
I find like just looking back at it, if you look on the island from that view, like from the sky view, it's like everyone from Thailand, like from Bangkok, they make their way down. Then everyone makes their way from Phuket.
Yeah.
Everyone makes their way from wherever for the full moon. And it's crazy the migration of everyone and how you meet everyone in one spot, and then everyone does whatever they got to do, and then they span.
Yeah,
back.
and that was the thing that was beautiful about it, because we all disappeared from each other. Do you know, we all disappeared. And I remember meeting those two Swedish girls with the boxing whatnot, and there was so many people we met along the way. It was amazing.
No, it was nuts. And the crazy part is as well is like the thing about the full moon party, because it's so highly like it's highly obviously alcohol and drug filled. So it's like when you get there, you're kind of stuck in this like warp. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's only once everything is done that you realize, wow, like that was actually pretty wild. You know what I mean?
Did you actually do the skipping rope with the fire?
I did.
Oh, you done the skipping rope?
You did it.
No,
I think I stopped you from doing it.
I was gonna do it, but you didn't let me do it.
I stopped you from doing it.
I think I done the skipping rope the second
Maybe
year.
I believed in it.
You didn't believe me.
I done it the second year.
I love you, man.
I was in the right state. I was waved, bruv. I wasn't in the right state to do it.
I fully remember someone tried to do it. I was like, no.
Because then they had the slide as well. I think they had the slide with like the ring of fire around it, and then they had the nuts like group of Australians that were tackling each other. So you stand there. So they'll have a guy stand there, and then you have like girls run up and charge and wrestle, like rugby tackle you down on the ground in the sand.
See, this is what I'm saying. This is insane. It's like you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
You don't know what to expect at all.
Yeah, no, it was nuts.
When everyone says like, what's the best party or what's the best event that you've been to, it's like nothing I've heard anyone say that comes close to full moon.
Nah, full moon party is ridiculous, man. It's
I like the carnival. And
I was about to say that.
No, I like the carnival,
Rio
but I don't even think that was.
I think it was a different vibe though.
And I think we're more worried. I think the risk factor in Brazil is higher.
Yeah.
And you're a bit more alert, even though it was calm.
Yeah,
we didn't experience nothing too mad. But because we're told so much, I think our minds were constantly like thinking, oh, you have to be on guard. Watch your money, watch your pockets.
Exactly.
Whereas in Thailand, the freedom of expression and everything is just there.
You felt more safer.
You felt safer, definitely felt more safer. But Brazil was close in terms of like how lit the party was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Brazil was a vibe.
Brazil was a vibe.
It had a lot of culture.
Yeah.
To say the least.
No, Brazil was definitely a vibe, man. But I don't think much.
Before I went even on, I haven't even been on a honeymoon, and I went Brazil.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh yeah, straight after your wedding, didn't you?
When did we go to Brazil? It was on
Feb.
What?
Yeah.
The 13th, right?
Yeah, around that time. No, was it?
Yeah, it's
Just
about
before
Valentine's Day or
Yeah,
something.
because that's my anniversary.
No, I won't lie, you're brave.
Bro, you got your priorities right, bro.
Huh?
You got your priorities right, bro.
Well, Shad still, he goes, I can't believe this guy. Like, you went. But it was obviously, Mrs. In it. She was cool. She held it down, so.
What would you say is your out of all the holidays we've been to all the various countries, what's your one favourite, like, situation or event that happened? Like, or what's the most interesting or the most fun or the maddest, like, one thing?
One thing I love is... Okay, obviously, like, us lot being together, that's one thing. It's like, when we... Was it first year or second year? Second year, innit? When we decided that we were going to go Thailand, innit? For the full moon. When Tim and Nas already booked their tickets.
Oh yeah, then we had to do that mad journey.
Yeah, so we had that mad epiphany.
Yeah.
Meeting a homeless person.
Yeah.
Doing that and bringing them to yours for Christmas dinner.
Oh, that's another story in itself, man. That's another
And
story.
then
Crazy.
doing the... Was it on Christmas Day? When did we do the...
We done it during Christmas, so Christmas Day, and then I think it went up to Boxing Day, 26 or something.
Yeah, and then afterwards then it was like, you know what, let's just go.
Let's just go, yeah.
F this, let's go. And that whole journey, like...
Yeah, that was nuts.
And it's... How long was that journey?
Like 2 days, 3 days about to get to
And
Thailand.
we was in the same clothes, like we're in Thailand wearing hoodies, jumpers, jackets,
Oh, the
luggage,
we were in the bus and smelling, bro.
And it was just that whole experience. It was just... It's weird, but it was funny at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a story like you can just tell your kids, like, you know what, I went through madness, like you wouldn't even believe it. That's why when there's like a little stop off, I'm like,
yeah, it's light work. People
Light
don't
work.
understand why I'm so patient with certain things, because like,
Yeah.
yo, we've been through enough, like
That's
we've
it.
been through enough waiting, and I'm like, yo, I've been through enough of this, man. It's light work.
I don't know if I could pick one. You know, there's so many that's happened.
many.
Malta was
Yeah.
insane.
Malta was sick.
I love
Malta
Malta was
The
insane,
whole
and that was
time.
before it become popular. You know what I mean?
That was what 09 or 08 was it? Probably even.
Yeah, before that even maybe.
Yeah.
That was insane. That was insane. Yeah, it was before that, because before we went Japan, and Japan
was
That was
Japan
insane
that
as
was
well.
crazy.
Japan was crazy.
The technology just...
Yeah, my
just the
favorite
whole
part of Malta though was when I battered everyone in Monopoly. That was my first time ever playing Monopoly. Yeah. You know, you have beginner's luck and you batter everyone. You start thinking you're like P Diddy. And I was going.
No,
mad.
but my chi was off though, innit? My
You
chi
sure
was
about
off
that?
because I had an argument before that.
Oh,
innit?
yeah,
you know
for
what I
real.
mean. It's like,
Then that was the day I realized Tim is a real G. No one can say anything to me about Tim from that day on.
yeah, well, obviously I ate my foot afterwards, innit? But
Yeah,
I've learned pride is not a thing you know
Put
you
it
should
this
mess
way, I
about
would have
with.
sold all you lot.
You
I would have
just sold us up the river.
First I would have slapped all you. Then I would have ducked out.
Oh man.
We made up afterwards though, innit? So it was worth it. It worked out. Everything worked out for it.
What other things though? What other?
What was that place called? Was it Budapest? Budapest was insane.
Budapest.
That was insane.
Yeah, Budapest was sick.
Yeah,
Budapest
no,
was sick.
I messed with Budapest.
The
man. That was
spring
insane.
waters and what was the one went on to the rooftop thing?
Yeah, that spa on the rooftop, innit? Yeah.
And then they
yeah.
had a party as well.
Yeah.
Berlin was alright as well.
Yeah.
Berlin was a good experience, man.
Do you know what was sick about Budapest? One of my favorite stories from Budapest was me and our boy N story. Yeah, obviously we can't mention certain man's name because he's not here. When we got kidnapped and they tried to shake us for like 2 or 8 bags or something. Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Bro,
Oh my
we got
gosh.
kidnapped by the Eastern European mafia. That was a mad day.
How
bro.
do you even get yourself into these situations?
It's
Explain
always-
it to us.
It's
What
always,
happened?
it's always him though, isn't it?
I know.
I always get into bad
Chinese
situations and I don't know how.
mafia.
Yo, like with this one, it was crazy because we all had gone out. We went out. We went to the strip. We went to like a club or whatever, and then everyone just disappeared. I baited him out. I'll edit it. N was like, let's just jump in a taxi and ask them to take us on a tour around the city.
Yeah.
Like, I want to experience the town more, man. These are boring and it's getting late, but like, let's just go out there. Because I think it was like our last night or something. So I was like, okay, cool, man. I'll roll with him in it, whatever. Like, let's just go. So we jumped in the taxi, and then he tells the taxi driver, oh yeah, like just show us around like town and that, like what's popping off. These times like about 3-4 o'clock in the morning, so there's nothing really popping off. He's driving us around, and then he asks him, look, is there any like venues, is there anything popping off that you can take us to? So the guy drives us in his taxi. He was like, yeah, I'll show you. He drives us to this alleyway now, and then he's like, downstairs.
That should have been alarm bells, isn't it?
That should have been an alarm bell because it was like a dead end road. Boom, he drives to the end of it, and it's like a narrow road. You know, Eastern European roads. So it's a narrow road. We get there now, boom, and then he's like, yeah, knock on that door. They're gonna open the buzzer, and then you're gonna walk downstairs, and there's like a little club thing, little vibe going on or whatever. So we get out of this taxi now. So we buzz the thing. Some hench, bald-headed, like Eastern European man opens the door now. He's like, what do you guys want? And then the taxi driver was like, yo, I brought them here. It's cool. Let them through. Yeah. So we go downstairs, and obviously it's like a gentleman's club / bar thing going on. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. My man wants to chill. He wants to vibe. He still wants to hang around because it's late and he wants to still enjoy himself. So we're at the bar minding our own business now. The hand has these menus. And inside the drink menu, everything costs mad money, mad peas. Like a beer was like about £20. Like bottle of champers was like 8 bills, 2 bags. Like it just was an expensive, secret, high-end bar / gentleman's club. And the vibe is a bit dangerous in there. Everyone's looking at us funny, like we're the only ethnics in there. Do you know what I mean? So everyone's looking at us, wherever. So obviously, my man that I'm with, Enya, he's a bit like, yo, yeah, it's popping off, wherever. So we're looking at these menus. I'm thinking, yo.
Drink for you.
Huh?
For you.
Yo,
For you.
yo, let me tell you how it ended up that
That's
way.
exactly what he's like, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Do you know what I mean? He gets
you.
gassed. So
For
everything.
you.
So I'm looking at this menu thinking, no, I can't afford anything on this. So I think I ordered a drink which was like about £8, like a standard drink or whatever.
Wow.
And then, do you know what I mean? Then these two women come up to us. Oh, how you guys doing? Blah blah blah, trying to flirt with us. But obviously they're working there, but we're kind of slightly waved, and we don't know, like, you know what I mean? We're not really clocked onto the game yet. What's going on? So they come up and us, oh, you guys are right, man. Where you guys from? Blah blah. So we're like conversating with them, and then N walks off with his one. They're around the corner talking, whatever. I'm in the bar and this girl's trying to like get me to buy a drink. So I'm like, no, I'm not buying you a drink. Yeah. Like, I'm not buying you a drink. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's not happening. I'm not buying you a drink. The drinks are mad expensive. I don't know where you came from. I'm not on it. Like, I'm not buying you a drink. So we're chilling, and then the lady at the bar be like, yo, you're not gonna buy the lady a drink, and she's trying to like put it on me. I'm like, no, I'm not buying her a drink. Like, you know what I mean? It's my last day, yeah. Like, I don't really have that much money left. I'm not buying this random girl a drink who's just coming up to me trying to massage my ego and gas me up and that. So like a couple of minutes gone now, yeah, my boy is coming through. My boy Ed is walking towards me, yeah. So he's walking towards me, like smiling, very happy, and obviously just vibes in wherever there's music playing. And then I see the girl behind him, yeah, holding 2 bottles of champs, 2 big bottles of champs, yeah. Oh snap! Yo, so she's holding 2 big bottles of champs, just smiling, hey, coming up to me, boom, boom, boom. Like, yo, it's a vibe.
A mad lick.
Yo, I'm thinking, so in my head, I'm thinking, wait, hold on. Who bought these 2 bottles? Because I'm looking at these bottles. And
you're sober real quick.
Yo, I was like, yo, like, who bought these? So I was like to my man, yo, like, who bought these? He goes, oh, she just picked herself from the menu, so she's paying for it. That's what my man is saying now. And I'm like, yo, that's not how it works. These people are like saying, yo, you're paying for her drink. Do you know what I mean? Because now the bar ladies come up to me and be like, yeah, are you guys going to pay for these drinks now? Because we need to close. And I'm like, what drinks? I'm paying for my drink, which is about £8. And the drink that girl is holding, it's not ours. It's not ours and that. She's like, nah, your friend boy. And I'm speaking to my man. He's like, no, I didn't buy it. She just picked off the menu. And I was like, yo, bro, they pick off the menu. They get guys, they order off your menu. And then the bar will enforce you to pay for it. Pay for the girl's drink. You know what I mean? And he's like, no, I'm not paying for it. I didn't tell her to buy it. She just picked off the menu. I was like, bro, it's a hustle. You know what I mean? It's a full-blown hustle. What are you on about? So now I'm arguing with him. The bar lady, who's also the manager, is looking at me saying, yo, you lot go like pattern out the drinks for these ladies or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not paying for it. I didn't order for him. And he said he didn't order for her. She just ordered out the menu. He's like, that's not how it works. She ordered it on your behalf. So now you have to pay for this. And I think the drinks came up to about 4 bags or something. I forgot what it was. Probably like 4 or 8 bags. It was crazy. I just remember just being a whole bunch of zeros, yeah, at the back of these drinks. So I'm thinking, no, I'm not paying for it. Like I don't have the money, and I'm definitely not paying for it. So now we're arguing, and my man is saying, oh, yeah, Fran, let's just fight them anyway. You do jiu-jitsu, you bang the security guard, I'll punch the other one in the face, and we run out here, yeah?
That sounds like you're 100.
And I'm like, yo, bro, it's not gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? There's no way this is gonna happen. Like, we got like about 5 hench here, Eastern Europeans. There's a main one here, one bald-headed chubby guy standing right behind us saying, yeah, you lot gotta pay for these drinks. I'm like, the time I throw the first punch here, the others would have killed us. Do you know
so wait, but he's putting you forward to fight them on his behalf.
He's putting me forward to fight them on his behalf.
Okay,
He's saying you do jiu-jitsu, so you go do it, and I'm gonna, he's probably gonna go for the woman, not even for me, not even for the big guys and that. I'm like, yo, bro, it's not going down like that, man. Like, why did you do that? And he's still arguing with me, saying, nah, he didn't pick the drink. And I was like, yeah, but you had to be aware that it was a hustle. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They finessed us, and now they're trying to force us to pay for these drinks that we didn't drink. So I'm trying to negotiate with the lady now. Yeah, she's being mad aggressive. The manager, she's like, nah. You have to pay, or else you're not leaving this club. And I'm like, yo, like, we don't have the money. I don't have like 4 bags on me. I'm not paying for these drinks. So I'm negotiating. He's still irate, arguing. I'm trying to calm him down because now we're in a dungeon, so we can't even escape if we wanted to. We're in a dungeon, so even if you try to escape, we'll get done. And if you try to argue, we'll get done. So I was like, I managed to negotiate with the lady. It was like, look, okay, we're gonna go back to our hotel and get you the money. I knew we didn't have the money at the hotel, but I thought if we can get out of the vicinity, we can at least try and run or something.
That's in it, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm negotiating. Then she's like, okay, but only I can go. And I'm like, no, I can't leave my boy here. So like, he has to come and he knows where his money is. So both of us need to go. Negotiate. And then the lady was like, yeah, okay, you two can go, but we have to take one of the security guard guys with us. And he's acting like he's got a strap or something. He's like, he's acting bare stiff, holding onto his suit, acting like he's about to do something. So we managed to, after this is time though, I managed to like hustle, negotiate. So the security guard comes with us now. And as we get outside, our taxi driver was still there after all of this time and all this drama. So he must have heavily been involved. So we jumped in the taxi now. We drive to the hotel and the guy saying, my boy can't come out the car. My boy N can't come out the car. And I was like, yo, I need him to go upstairs to get the money or whatever. I'm negotiating, arguing with him, blah, blah, blah. Finally, he let him out the car. And then the taxi driver came out to like oversee, make sure that we go and get the money or whatever. So we come out, we're with the taxi driver in the reception bit of the hotel. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm going to go upstairs, get the money, boom, boom, boom. Then you go and give it to my man. But the taxi driver is calm now. He's not really like too irate or whatever. So we go upstairs, but we only got the taxi fee. I only went and got the taxi fee. And I was like, yo, give them this and that. This is for you. This is your taxi fee. Told the guy like, yo, we ain't paying for the thing. Yeah. And luckily for us, the hotel was big and we're leaving the day after. So we went up to the lift, boom, went to our room and never saw them again. Mad. Man, anything could have happened to us that day.
So imagine they were just waiting in the morning.
Yo,
when you're
you know they'll be dead as well because all of you were upstairs in your rooms minding your own business, bro. So everyone could have got it, bro.
How do you get yourself in these predicaments? No, man.
It's always the same, isn't it?
Exactly, it's always the same.
It's too mad, man.
But you know what? I'm not surprised at N because that's what he's like. He has half a drink, you know, and he gets into this vibes like, nah, let's pay for the club.
yeah. You know, man. You, everybody. You know what I mean? And these times you want to do it in a dungeon in the middle of nowhere. Nah. It's mad, man.
It's all part of the experience, though, isn't it? You're alright now.
Well, survived it, man. You made it, man. But that's definitely one of my maddest stories, though, man. But apart from that, everything else has been like kind of surreal and like amazing in its own sense. Every experience has been amazing. Even the second year of Thai and everything else.
We could be in a shithole place.
And make something out of it.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it. We could be anywhere, like you name it. We've been there, or we can go somewhere and still make a good time of it. And I think that's
definitely
amazing.
And so when you got like-minded people, chill people that want to enjoy, you know, want to experience.
The squad has to be sharp.
That's the best thing. Yeah. Because sometimes you always have that one person in the squad that don't want to participate or is always pessimistic about everything, you know what I mean, and just bring the vibe down. But when everybody's on it, everybody's ready to engage and try something new. That's the best thing.
20 years, probably like 20 something years solid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even from school, we was going. We went to Paris.
We got
that picture.
Yeah, that's true, you know. No, definitely, man. Holidays are definitely like a major part growing up, and that's one thing I look forward to, like when I have kids eventually, like just to let them explore the world from young. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously we started it young as well, considerably. But it's like I think the younger you start, the more your mind opens up at a quicker and earlier age, where you're able to like soak it up even more.
Man, I'm just waiting for lockdown to finish. We're booking holidays.
Yeah, do you know that brings us back, man, to like this whole lockdown situation.
I think that's all I'm waiting for. Let it all settle down and book a holiday, man.
Yeah, but how you guys been coping during like lockdown? Like in general, like mindset wise, and
if I be totally honest, I've been cool because of the nature of my job. I've been working more than I usually do. Not to say that I don't work hard in the first place, but I, working to the point where it's 7 days a week for the first like couple of weeks, and then, and a lot of the times it's from 8 a.m. in the morning. It's my first meeting, and my last meeting's usually about 8:30, 9:30 at night. So I've been fine, and luckily I've got a good support system. You know, my siblings always hooking me up with food, so they.
I've been seeing your snaps when you're living, bro.
they pattern me with food for a whole week, and I'm live. You know, so I don't really need to do lots of takeaways. I don't really need to go out. And luckily where I work, I've got a conservatory, so I've got the garden behind me, got the doors open. So I'm blessed.
Big boy in that.
So it's all right.
But that's one thing I was looking forward to this year as well. Before the lockdown was like the barbecue of yours, man.
Yeah, like, we're still gonna turn up. We still got some time.
We're meant to have a barbecue of yours as well, isn't it?
Bro, I'm ready anytime.
You ready for the barbecue?
My garden's ready, bro. AstroTurf, everything.
Put something off next month. Next week even.
Whenever you're ready, bro. I say do it.
But it's weird times because obviously right now we're doing like a lot of reminiscing as well. But it's like at the moment we're in a state where the whole world is in like such a weird place. Do you know what I mean? It's something that we've never experienced before in terms of like everyone being under lockdown, everyone being a part of this pandemic. That's like
I think
sweeping
it's hard
through.
to. It's probably how we're feeling right now, and we're talking how we're feeling right now. But obviously, there's some sad bits of it. There's some happy bits of it. There's a mood for everything. Do you understand? So I wouldn't say it's just like all been hunky dory, but more or less it's been fine in terms of being isolated. Because obviously with me I've got a young family, so Noah's 2.5, and my little one, she's only like 4 months. So just before the lockdown happened, that's when we had her. So my time was mainly playing with them, and you know how my son is. He's hilarious.
He's active,
Yeah, so I'm always doing stuff with him, playing in the garden, water fights. It's constant with him, so I've not really felt not going out or whatever. My world's there. Everything I want is there. Yeah, so I'm not really. The only thing is obviously not seeing the mandem. That's it. But obviously we still get to see each other here and there. But other than that,
well, technically, this is my first time seeing Tim since the lockdown.
Yeah, I haven't seen
you since the lockdown. I've seen you once when I came over to the barbecue and the bits and yeah. For me, like in particular, I mean, my life has always been at home anyway. Like I work
you're
from
out
home.
In Essex, that's why.
Well, yeah, I'm out in the middle of nowhere.
If you were in Forest Gate, you would have been at mine more.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, see,
you probably would have spent lockdown at mine.
Well, I've been eating at everyone's house and that. But the thing is, for me, it's like because my family's quite close. So my family lives like about 15 minutes drive away, and also I'm used to working from home and doing everything from home. So I haven't really felt it. But the only thing that I feel is like when you feel when it's law, when it's legislated that you can't do something,
you can't do it, yeah.
And then you don't have access to certain things that you would want to do otherwise, like go out to certain places, certain bars, restaurants, whatever. Then it becomes an issue. Then you start thinking about it more than usual. But there's been times where I've been at home like 5 months straight, and the only places I've gone is either to see like the boys or gone to like 1 or 2 odd restaurants within that period of time. It didn't bother me. But now that it's legislated, you start thinking about it more. Do you know what I mean? Because whenever something is put out in the public domain, then that becomes the center of your thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I struggled the first month probably because I was like twitching. I want to do something. Like I'm just me in my bed and then my sofa. But afterward, I got accustomed to it, and it became a part of my routine because I developed a routine now, and then I just forgot about the fact.
Yeah, I think that's part of the subconscious, isn't it? And
someone tells you can't do something.
Yeah,
like, I want to do it.
You can't have that chocolate. You know, I'm gonna put it right in front of you. You can't have it.
What I don't get is like
so it does play with your mind.
The people like who don't do jogging, they don't do nothing. Like,
everyone started jogging.
You know, bro. Come on, bro. You don't do it, and then you just see them out on road, and you're thinking, like, only because now you couldn't do it. It's taken away from you. Now you want to do it.
Yeah.
Do you get me? And there was a lot of that going on, like people riding their bikes.
Definitely.
But I think it's provided a great opportunity for community, though. I think there's shown a great element of kindness in humanity, especially in my neighbourhood. Do you know what I mean? I know I'm quite proactive in just checking on a couple of my neighbours that are elderly. You know, you need anything from the shops, holler at me. But a lot of my neighbours, you know, are doing little bits for me. It's just like, oh, we was just out of the shops. We just thought we'd just get you a couple of bottles of water just in case, you know. Yeah. So, and that's brilliant. And definitely, like, my mum, belling me up. She's telling me, neighbours keep bringing her stuff. And these are different neighbours, you know. It's like, wheels out, we just got you some fruit. Wheels out, we just got you some water just in case you need anything else. So I think this is a great opportunity. Although it's come from something that's really, really
bad.
Terrible.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity to actually reposition ourselves as a global community and re-establish actually what's actually important in life, you know, and that is ensuring we're safe, ensuring that everybody has, you know, and has the opportunity to experience life to the fullest, you know.
I think you guys will probably notice it probably a bit more because you lived local and then you moved out, but where I'm still in Figgy, for me,
still in the hood.
Where I'm still in the hood, everything feels the same.
Yeah.
Everyone's still out the block.
I walk outside my house, everyone's out there.
Yeah.
Kicking ball or talking shit about football. When
so you still got access to like groups, like many groups of people just hanging around.
I just have to look over my garden.
Yeah.
Man, them's there. You can talk to them. Quick banter, go back in.
Yeah.
So I probably haven't felt it as much as probably you guys, or I don't know. We probably have different experiences.
Yeah, I don't know. Luckily, I don't mind being alone anyway. I can chill by myself for ages, and it's a good thing that we got things like Netflix and Disney Plus and all these things now. I've got everything on there now, so just watching stuff back to back. You know, so I won't lie, I've been blessed.
Have you found yourself watching stuff that you wouldn't have naturally watched anyway, and then finding them interesting?
Exactly. Yeah. I've been watching some good movies and some good series recently, man.
Now, I think I banged out a lot of the stuff initially because during the lockdown, we went through many phases. Because initially there was all the hype about like house party.
Yeah.
So when it first started, everyone gravitated towards somewhere where like we could all like communicate, because we thought, oh my gosh, we might lose communication with people, we might lose like physical touch or whatever. So everyone just swarmed onto house party. But then that died so quick because I think one of the things that probably killed house party was I think that it got killed by its own design because. Yeah, it was fun having random strangers being able to jump into your chats.
But that was the same killing point.
Yeah, and also seeing who's locked in a room together. Because now you got people seeing their boyfriends or their girlfriends in rooms with other girls, and they're not there. So then the mind starts playing. It's too invasive. Because I was speaking to our boy Bo the other day, and he was in a group once, and there was just a whole bunch of mixed group, random people, girls, guys, whatever. And then a guy jumped in. And he saw his girlfriend in the group. And he's like, yo, where are these man from? Who are these man in the group? So this guy's insecurity made him flip out, thinking his girlfriend is stuck in a room with a whole bunch of guys. Even though they're talking, it could be banter, they could be playing games, but the mind starts playing. Do you know what I mean? And he's able to jump into this group because of the design of the thing. So that's what probably killed off, because people are thinking, right, now this is causing way too many problems than it's worth. Do you know what I mean?
I think, to be honest, that's the best thing about it, and that's the worst thing about it.
Yeah.
So the best thing is you're just talking to random people, and the bad thing is you're talking to random people.
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes you just want to talk to your friends, and then after some next random person jumps into the convo, you're like, "Fuck that! What are you doing in this conversation?" Do you get me? But then sometimes it's like it's something different. Another person. Do you get it?
They're bringing a different element to it as well. Yeah, it's all fun and games, man. But then the thing is like, if you're in a relationship or whatever, it can cause a lot of insecurities. Because where I realize insecurities are popping off is when you see things trending on Twitter. So, for instance, on Twitter, people are like, "Oh my gosh, I saw my boyfriend in a group, blah blah blah." Like when you start seeing memes like that, that's when you know that things are actively happening within the culture that's affecting people in that particular way. Because I started seeing a lot of memes about when you're like, you see an angry face, and then it's like when you see your girlfriend locked in a room with two guys. Do you know what I mean?
So the thing about social media and whatnot, it's a young person's game, innit? Do you know what I mean? And when you start talking about extremely personal things, again, that's a young person's mentality to do that, to do it openly. You know, you discuss with your friends, you discuss with your family and whatnot. But to be putting it out there, it's just like, yo, I don't like men for this reason, or this women talk nonsense for this, or whatever it may be. That is very much a young person's game. And what happens is, when you're not completely comfortable within yourself, comfortable within your relationship, and you're going out looking for answers on social media, you're only going to come up with, it's a one-way street, you know, so it's going to start putting ideas in your mind, and then you're going to be questioning things that are not even that deep.
You know, my thoughts on social media, I think it's the devil's work.
Yeah, you don't even do social media.
I don't do social media.
What I think about social media now in particular, that I'm looking at from like a more analytical point of view, is that I don't think we're built for it, or we're not ready for it. Like biologically and genetically, I don't think we're ready for it. Like that level of communication with so many people having access to you and having opinions on you and about you. Because if you look at science tells us that we can have about 150 relationships max. So that's like, we can take 150 criticisms, 150 comments about, oh yeah, well, I like your trim today. As you can see, certain people got trims and that to the podcast.
And didn't tell us.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we can handle 150. But now on social media, you got 150 million people that can potentially access you. These are people that don't know you, because like, someone can make a bad comment about you, but that person in real life wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, your top is dead," or "Look at your dead trim," or whatever, or like you're ugly. So most people won't come up to your face. I don't remember the last time someone came up to my face and told me, "Yo, you're clapped." You see what I mean? But I'm sure on social media it will be easy for some little dweeb to be you're clapped, bro.
But that's again, that's the gift and the curse of it, isn't it? It's just like, social media is actually amazing for what it's done for countries that are either underdeveloped or haven't had access to certain things that the Western world has or other countries have.
100%.
But then it also opens up the arena for things like criticism.
Yeah.
And what we've done.
I just think the youth, I think the young people of today, they should be banned from it, man.
But that's the thing. It's like you get
I think it's so.
You get the young people that do it.
I think it's so unhealthy, like literally to the point where people committing suicide. They have body dysmorphia.
But that's the thing. You can't really police it, can you? You can't police it, and that's the thing. It's like so they do all these mini cultures, i.e. cancel culture. You know what I mean? And they glorify things like actually, it's like a normal thing. People know it's like I'm gonna make a fake account. I'm gonna go on Francis, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is, and say. Yeah.
Something negative.
You say something negative about you. Do you know what I mean? For no other reason than they can.
Yeah.
Do you know? They probably don't even really care. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But it's just like, no, I'm going to find a couple of people. Yeah. Oh, Francis, he looks like he's popping off at the moment. Yeah. I'm going to say something bad. Yeah. Oh, whatever. Go on a whole bunch of drill artists or their favourite rapper or their favourite pop artist or movie star.
That's why.
Say a couple of things and pop off, but it's been glorified.
That's why I think you should pay us for coming on here. You're lucky I'm even here.
Do you know what? Yeah. So what Tim was saying, I realized something that we probably should stop doing is that. So for instance, so if you follow Ian Wright on social media, he gets a lot of racial abuse from some random little white kid in the middle of nowhere. Like he gets a lot of racial abuse. Like, oh yeah, you monkey, you this, you that, you nigger, whatever. And I get it. I get that he highlights it. He likes posting those people's handles on his thing and be like, yo, this is the abuse I got. But I think one of the dangers is with social media, whether you give someone good or bad
platforms,
you're still giving them a platform, a major platform. Maybe if we was to attack them by contacting the actual social media platform, and then if you want to post it, make people aware, post the comments, but don't post the person's handle. Because there's one little kid in the middle of nowhere, I think he's from Ireland or somewhere, that abused Ian Wright. This kid had only 1,000 followers on his Instagram. When he abused Ian Wright, and Ian Wright put the guy's social handles on, within a couple of days he had 26,000 followers on his Instagram. And guess what he done with that? He tried to play it smart and be like, I'm going to release an apology video soon. So then people are more engaged because now we want to know what you said about Ian Wright and why you said it. So Ian Wright inadvertently had given this guy a major platform to work with. Exactly. And if the guy was clever enough, he can twist that to his own benefit. Do you see what I mean? Whilst me on the other hand, if I have Ian Wright's platform, I'll expose the dude in terms of what he put, but then I'll attack him privately because I realize that people can use negative feedback also to fuel their own personal careers or brand or whatever it is.
That's what we all want to see, though, isn't it? That's what we're all interested by.
100%.
What happened with the Kardashians? What happened with your favorite rapper, your favorite movie star? And regardless if it's good or bad, we just want to know.
That's the thing is we're part of the problem, isn't it?
We are, but it's a societal thing, though, isn't it?
Because we want to know.
Yeah, but that's why I think we're not ready for it. We're not built for it because. Like I get it does great for businesses, it does great for brands, it does great, but in terms of that level of communication, that level of criticism and attack, like, is everyone completely built to take that on? Do you know what I mean? Personally, most people aren't.
No, just like
I wouldn't feel comfortable.
I'd say that 99% of people are not. It don't matter how hard you are. Take the toughest person. I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. Whoever Hardman or whatever, biggest roadman. You take them. Nobody likes being criticised because. The way we're biologically made is to protect ourselves. Do you know what I mean? So you take a look at Maslow's. I know I bring up a lot. Maslow's theory, Maslow's hierarchy, yeah. And right at the base of it, near the base of it is the need to belong to a group. We want to be liked. We need to feel that love. We want to fit in. So if someone's identifying an issue with us, they're critiquing us to say that, look, Tim, you don't look good. Tim, like you're not that great, or how you speak, how you dress, whatever it may be. At some point, that's gonna tick. Do you know what I mean? And it's gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna respond now. I'm gonna defend myself because that's what our bodies, that's what our minds naturally do. Do you know what I mean? We defend ourselves. So I guarantee, my personal opinion, there is nobody in this world that is, impenetrable to being affected. Something like that.
I think.
And it definitely depends on who is doing it to you as well. Because if you regard the person as an equal and they're doing it to you,
I think WhatsApp groups are doing the same thing now.
You think so?
Yeah, but on a lower level, lower scale.
But I find it hard to be more critical in WhatsApp group. Not hard, but it's different because most WhatsApp groups is usually a circle of people that you trust, friends or family or whatever. So it's a bit different. While social media is just open.
Yeah,
know
but
what
that's
I
what
mean?
I'm saying.
Unless you're part of like an open WhatsApp
No, but
group.
that's I don't know if there is such a thing as an open WhatsApp group. But I'm just saying it's a lower level because like if you see in most WhatsApp group, how many people go in and out, get chucked out, come in, throw a BF, they've gone, then they came back in. Do you understand? So I just think it's like a slightly. I'll say it's 0.5% of
Yeah.
what's happening on the social
It's just a
media.
bit smaller version, but social media is definitely different. And
yeah.
when you're talking about like not wanting to put your kids on, one thing I find creepy is people that like kind of like indirectly pimp out their kids.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like people that got big followings, and then all of a sudden when they have their baby, then the next day the baby has a Instagram page with 100,000 followers, and they're writing "I love my mommy," and this kid is like 3 months old.
Yeah.
Like it's weird, man.
I find that insane, and that's where we've got to. And I think it's. And I say this lightly, but this is very much American culture. You know, bigger is better. We want more, and do whatever it is to get money because it's a bit of the American dream, innit? So we sort of taken on that. Given social media, everybody can see what's happening now. Yeah. So people are just like, yeah, that is another opportunity. Let me put my kid out there because I've already got a decent amount of followings. There's a whole bunch of weirdos that are going to go follow a kid's page. Do you know, why are you going to go look at a kid's page for?
Yo.
You're going to sit there, a kid on the
I don't get it. I don't know. I want someone to explain it to me because I don't get it. Like, I think, yeah, it's cute if you're taking a family picture or whatever, but a dedicated page
I think it's insane.
in a world full of, like, creeps.
You know what it is? What these people do, it's a business move. That's what it is. It's not.
Keep talking, I'm just stretching out my wedgie, bro.
I think personally, it's just a business move. That's all they're doing. It's just a business move. It's not nothing else. It's not that they don't love their kids. They probably do love their kids. Who doesn't? Some people may, or I don't know. Yeah. But majority of the times they do. But it's just a business move. They're gonna make more money, and that's what they think. But they don't understand. They don't understand the detriment that it's gonna cause for that child. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I've had people come up to me, like, not come up to me, but I've known them. They've worked for like big brands, and they've said to me like, "Oh,
put your kids on social."
Yeah, you know, they're saying like, "Oh, modeling for your child," and I was like, to be honest, I don't feel comfortable. Like, do you get me? As much as I think, wait, this is like Gucci, or this is like this guy's a photographer Gucci. Like, do you get me? And I was like, I had to think about it because I thought, no, man, I don't need the money like that. Do you get me? But I think sometimes, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? I think it's a good thing if they get into something because it can help them get confidence and stuff like that. But I think it's a bad thing because it opens them up to be more aware of their body. Scrutiny and...
We can't even handle as adults. That's the truth of the matter. You can't handle scrutiny as an adult. So imagine a kid. And you're putting... So basically what happens is it's almost like the Truman Show. So the way I see it, because if you look at the...
So would you do it?
No, 100%. Not my child. Do you know what I mean?
So
not my child.
What age would you say to them? Okay.
I think whenever I don't know, when they hit secondary school or something in an Instagram page, then they can do their own thing. But before that, I'm not gonna create a page for my child. No. I'm not gonna sit there with my missus and be like, oh, by the way, our child is cute, so let's do this and take all these pictures and pull these weird captions.
But see, that's exactly what it is. You see, when you start doing things based on you're basically, because when you're looking at all these pages, you could take your favorite footballer, what they call reality TV star. You don't really know who they are. Like you say, it's a business thing. They're putting up exactly what they feel that you like. You know, if I went on to Big Brother or something, or what are these things? The beach one, X on the Beach or something like that. It's just like I'm playing the role. Do you know what I mean? And I'm gonna keep up that.
Babies are the new thing.
Exactly, I'm gonna keep up that identity as long as it's paying me to. Do you know? So if you're going to bring your child into that type of world where, okay, then cool, nobody knows who your child is, but you're getting bare likes because you're my child or whatever, yeah? And then they're going to grow up like, it's like a crack baby, do you know what I mean? Fiending for that because it's like, no, wait, why am I not getting likes? Do you know? I should be getting likes. And if you go and do the same thing and said, yeah, go do some modelling, it's like, wait, actually, what's my worth? All my worth is the way I look. You know, to take pictures, and that's what they're going to be basing it off. What you need to I think what you need to do, I don't think there's a right way to bring up a kid, but there's a wrong way, So what you need to do is actually build up their confidence from the start. You can take them to play dates, you can take them to gymnastics or do some jiu-jitsu, some what do they call it, grapple training or whatever when they're young, to build up their confidence.
That's real confidence.
And then after, when they get older and they feel that they can engage more, they can protect themselves more, then you give them the option. Okay, it's up to you. It's your choice. But to actively put them out there, I think that's reckless.
You're about to say something, isn't it?
No, I was just saying. For me, look, I personally, I can't see myself doing it because it's like I love my child to bits. Like I just want to protect him. I want to just like always from anything negative. But at the same thing, I think the parents that are doing it, what is their thinking? And I'm thinking like, it is a bit of it's money motivated, but because I've actually spoke to someone who's I think the child is a model. So I had a conversation and I said to him like, I feel uneasy because as soon as I got the guy I met with told me about the Gucci stuff, and I was like, it made me think. And then afterwards, but then I was like, no, the protective element, the dad element came, no, scrap that. But then afterwards, I spoke to another guy, and he was like, no, man, I thought like that too, but now they have their own separate like accounts, and they check on the child's welfare. Well, this is probably with the big brands, but the little brands, obviously, they're out to expose you, innit? So I don't know. I personally couldn't do it, but I won't knock anyone else.
I think it's always hard to figure out what someone is thinking. So you never know the intentions of the parents. But at the end of the day, it's like you have to think, okay, what are the benefits and what's the pros and cons of this? Like, you know what I mean? What's the long term effect on my child?
I think
and
the long term.
What am I getting out of this?
I think personally, the long term effect. That's probably one of the reasons why.
Because we already know. Obviously, we're probably still gathering evidence in terms of like the long-term mental effects of it, but we know that there's already evidence proving
100%.
that people are taking their lives because of what's being exposed, in particularly women, and you know what I mean, stuff with their image and stuff like that. So if you're putting your child on there, clearly knowing that the early stage evidence is proving this, then the long term, when you're starting them from young, they're not going to be able to live in the real world. Do you see what I mean? How
they're in a bubble.
They're in a bubble, so they're going to continue in this bubble. Or if this bubble doesn't accept them and something goes wrong, they wouldn't know how to like
react.
Or how to deal with the real world, man. But that's one of the strange parts of social media. But then obviously you have all the wonderful and great parts that social media is doing. So we're kind of caught up in between the two now, because now we're able to transfer information quicker. We're able to push our businesses, our brands. We're able to make people aware of things that are not happening. Like for instance, I didn't know about the atrocities that's happening in Yemen, for instance, or like things that's happening over in the States. Like sometimes there's certain things that you wouldn't know unless there was social media. They're available for you to get that information at that speed as well. You see what I mean? And it helps things. It helps.
I think that's the problem with most good things. It's a double-edged sword, and the problem is, in a sense, us as well. I'm saying like our need for information quick, our information about our favorite footballers, our favorite rappers, our favorite, So in essence, we are a bit of the problem because we want this. They're giving us what we want, but not everyone can actually handle it. Do you get me? Like, I would say we're quite strong individuals mentally, hopefully, and we can deal with certain things. Do you understand? But then there's other people who can't. That's why and some social media as well is worse than others, I think, because I think with Instagram, for instance, because there's images of you, people find it more personal, so they can't. It's hard for someone to negatively post something unless you're a big page and you got hundreds of thousands or millions of followers. Then people can sneak in there. So, for instance, if I've never posted a picture on Instagram, someone said something, but if you post something on Twitter, for instance, which is different because you've only got a certain amount of characters. It's hard to get your true ideas across. It's hard for you to discuss things in depth. Like here now on the podcast, we can talk for hours deciphering your thoughts or beliefs on something. Whilst on Twitter, you can't. So when this most recent thing happened with George Floyd and the murder, which is clear murder, no one in this world would disagree that what they done wasn't torturous and wasn't horrible. It actually highlighted to me a point that you can't have clear
concise and deep
dialogues
on Twitter, because I went onto Twitter when it first happened, because I think that's when I saw the image. And you know, usually when stuff happens, you always get the side that go rah rah rah, this is wrong, murder murder murder, kill kill, burn everything down, kill the people that done it, boom boom boom. And then you get the side that'll be like, yo, what the hell's going on? But what's actually happening? Like what actually killed him? What's going on? I want to know what's going on. And I realized on Twitter you can't ask those questions. As wrong as it may possibly be, and it's clear to see what you're seeing, you can see someone's lifeless body being put. You can't have those dialogues. But the particular message that I saw, this guy said, he said something interesting. He said, "Did we see murder?" He's like, think about it. He's like, did we genuinely see someone being murdered? Do you know what I mean? And he asked a clear question. He's like, I saw someone put someone's knee on someone's neck for 8 minutes and 43 seconds, but I don't know if that's what killed him. Do you see what I mean? And as much as I even felt slightly triggered by that question at the time, because I just saw someone who looked like me. I just saw someone who's got the same skin tone as me. I saw someone who is in my tribe in terms of the tribalistic nature of things. Just had someone put his knee on his neck, and then him dying after that. Do you see what I mean? And everyone was attacking this dude. Everyone's like, yo, blah, 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 blah. How dare you say this? You're a neo-Nazi. You're this. You're that. You're that. You're that. You're that. And then a couple of months afterwards, I'm not mentioning this person's name for a particular reason. A couple of months afterwards, a couple of days afterwards, this guy, I think he went quiet because everyone was just attacking him. So he just like, yo, I'm not even going to answer this. I don't even want to know what's going on. He was a part of the crowd that, yo, I want to hear more, hear about what happened in the hospital, see if there's any other footages from different angles, because I don't know if it was medically the knee that killed him or anything else. I don't know. He didn't know. So a couple of weeks afterwards, he put up a video saying, oh, like obviously it was clear murder, and it seems that the medical side came back, but I just wanted to know what killed him. I don't know, did it kill him on the ambulance? He just said he put out a question like that. And I was like, yo, you don't go on Twitter to try and have dialogue, and you don't go on Twitter to try and make statements like that, because we're not built for it. And the thing is, people are gonna pick up from where they are emotionally.
No, but okay, I'll give you a prime example. If you're watching a football game and you're live tweeting about the game, or you're messaging your boys, you're gonna say whatever comes to your mind at that time. You're gonna type it in, right? And you're gonna send it. It's the same thing with Twitter. Some of the shit that people come out with is because they're thoughtless, or they just thought on a whim, okay, I'm gonna put this out, and then they've not thought about the consequences, or who it's gonna affect, or does he come across racist? Like, say if I put out something about any race, religion, or whatever, like something not negative, but just say something that could be controversial, then people who don't know me or who saw that message, they can take it all different ways. You guys would take it as like, okay, it's just it's nothing.
It's familiarity as well.
Yeah. Next man would see it and they'll be like, this guy needs to get hung or something. Do you understand what I'm saying?
This is the problem now. There's some conversations that we understand deserve a certain level of respect, and they need you to approach them in a very thoughtful and careful way. Religion, faith. When you start talking about gender and so on and so forth, and especially as we know now, very much so about race as well. And the problem I have with these type of things is you can't ask a provoking question like that when we have precedent of what that can turn into. You can't go and say something that's racist. You can't go and say something that's sexist or gender bias and whatnot on a platform where you can't have a completely fluid discussion, a complete in-depth discussion, a proper back and forth to actually understand their ideas and articulate exactly what it is that you're trying to find out. Because you're only allowed how many ever tweets it is, a couple characters.
130 characters. Or
a couple of characters to ask a question about something that is so complex. That's not that, and we know that when you go and say mad things on there, Twitter's been around for time now. We know, don't say them type of things because everyone's going to come to you. Do you know what I mean? So that's not the place to do it. And what it makes me do is question the people that are asking it, because if the person's intelligent enough, to be considering it, to even consider a question like that, because of course you can from what you've explained, everyone's taken it out of context. He wants to know, more about the situation and what's happened. Maybe he's articulated it in the wrong way, but if he is intelligent enough to even want to know what's going on and better understand the situation, and then provide a response a couple of days later and whatnot, then he is intelligent enough to know, don't even do that in the first place.
Yeah,
it's not the platform.
That's why I wouldn't
go
and put a Christian like that on there, because I know. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But
it's not the
my
place.
thing is, okay, cool. You are intelligent, you're smart, whatever. You will do that. Cool, but not everyone's like you. Do you understand? So, like, say, for instance, like, if you want to know something about something, you'll message your boy and say, oh, what happened? Like, do you know anything about this? Because I don't know nothing about it. Then they'll send you an article, they'll send you a video with a other angle. But this guy, I don't know, maybe he's got no one in his life.
And then you got to remember as well, with places like Twitter as well, because people can hide behind handles where they're not visually there, you can't see them talking. It's easy for someone with a bad mindset, as you're talking about, someone that genuinely wants to stir trouble, to go up there. Because if I really wanted to be a prick, I can literally set up a random Twitter account, and every time something happens, I'll put out something, I'll get a reaction.
Exactly.
Just because I want that reaction.
Exactly.
And people feed off of likes, people feed off of engagement. People love engagement. As much as we like to say we're humble and stuff and this and that, human beings, we love adoration, whether it be whatever. And some people just love attention. And some people don't care what level of attention they get.
Well, it goes back to that thing about Maslow. We want to be loved. We want to belong to something, And that's why you get them crazy shows like, what's the one, the fake dating? The person's not the real person that they're dating. Catfish.
Oh,
you know
catfish,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's exactly the same thing, It's just like, I'm going to pretend to be, some jacked up guy, with 100 mil on my account. It's insane.
Yeah, catfish is mad. I think the maddest one I saw was a Bow Wow one or something. It was a girl that was pretending to be Bow Wow.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, legit. And like she was gassing up this other girl, and the girl legitly thought she was talking to Bow Wow. And then when she met to meet Bow Wow, it was actually like a stud. Do you know what I mean? And she was hella confused, thinking, "Bro, I thought you was Bow Wow." But it didn't work out to be Bow Wow. It just worked out to be some random.
Come on. And these are the type of things as well. Like, these are the type of things, inflated egos. Do you know what I mean? Because everybody wants to believe they're a little bit more than what they are. Like guys want to believe, look, I can knock out dudes. I can, nah, don't worry. You get them guys that say, oh, look, I can fix it. I can fix your house for you. I can put up these. I can put up wardrobes. I can do this. I'm a man, innit? I can. Then after you get women, I can be a princess. I'm the most beautiful. I'm this and that. Now people will love me. All this type of BS now. Why in the hell would you think Bow Wow cares about you? Man has millions of dollars. Are you on crack?
And you've never met him before.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Never met him.
And that's what I mean. Was
she clapped? Or
what? The Bow Wow or the other one?
the one who she thought Bow Wow liked her?
No, she was alright.
No, but that's the problem there. She was alright.
Yeah.
Why is someone with $1 million gonna care about someone on Twitter that's alright?
Yeah. Someone random as well.
Do you know what I mean?
And you've never met him. It's like you've never had engagement.
Exactly. A different thing if he was like out shopping or something, he saw her, it's just like, okay, cool. I know what person you are now. I've had a discussion with you. But just a random picture. You look alright. It's not someone I'm going to turn around for.
Our logical thinking, like, the world there's so many different people, so many different mindsets. They're not the same, I'm telling you, some people, like, even if you have a conversation with, like, someone just down the road, you just think, like, what did you, like, get through life thinking like that?
Yeah, I don't know. People are crazy.
Do you understand?
Yeah, but the thing is as well, is like, with people's thinking now, one thing I'm starting to realize more is that, like, humans, even if, like, there's so many of us in this world here, which means that there's so many brains, there's so many, like, electrical signals being sent through billions of people thinking all simultaneously. But what I'm noticing more is that how powerful ideologies can be. And you might think here that you're susceptible to ideologies, but it's affecting all of us. And I'm noticing that more now with, like, since the George Floyd murder, and with the protests and the riots and Black Lives Matters, and then you've got the what they call the neo-Nazis, or they whatever they're called. It's all ideologies, and as much as we like to think we're individuals, sometimes we're driven by an idea that's been passed down, and then it filters through the system and it affects all of us. because we
one
all
way
have,
or another, yeah.
do you know what I mean? One way or the other, because we all have ideologies, we all have ways of thinking, which is either beneficial to us or beneficial to someone else. But nonetheless, someone is being used within that ideology. Do you see what I mean? And now when you go on social media, when you go on everything is like left or right. Everything is red or blue. Everything is either is there's polar opposites to like almost everything now. That's what I think. That's what I see anyway when I look at social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely get where you're coming from with that, and I'm sure you've heard of like no idea under the sun's original. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It all comes from somewhere, you know, and someone has thought about it, and it's built up into, you know, an ideology. And you're very much right. We all sort of fall into a group, and we want to belong to a group. You know, so we go and follow that ideology. Some may be
Even
about
if it's
faith,
right or wrong,
some
yeah.
exactly whether it's right or wrong, but it's very much how we perceive it. Do you know? That's why, again, like you say, you get people on both sides. You know,
I think that's the problem with people today is they have too much pride and too much ego. Like if they're not open to have a debate, or they're not open to criticisms, and that's what I think is the worst thing. Like I can say, like, if we have a conversation, and like I have conversations with my wife about certain things, and I'll be like headstrong on one thing, and then she'll just come with a curveball, like, and she said, but you didn't think of it like, did you think of it like this? And I'll be like, damn, I didn't even think of it like that.
yeah. So, but this is what it is.
And you got to be open to say, yeah, I was wrong, or I didn't think of that.
Yeah, but
you know?
that's the thing. It's just like where we are now as a global community is everyone thinks they're more important than the whole. Do you know?
I think you got to humble yourself.
You
know
do.
what I'm saying?
Easier said than done, though.
Exactly. Everyone thinks they're more important. Whatever my views are the right views. I support Manchester United. Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Straight away, it's like, what, you don't support the same team as me? No, it's like we can't discuss anymore. You can't be a sane person. Oh, you like to, you know, women that go to get surgical procedures done. Do you know what I mean? Other women look at them, it's like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you can't be doing that. Men that go out and, you know, pop steroids or do whatever. Everybody makes the decision that they want to do, yeah, and they think that's the right thing, and the rest of us are critiquing it because it don't align with our ideologies, with whatever our values and priorities are. Do you know? And it's funny because you take you know, you go look at history, and you know, you got your left wing, your right wing, or whatnot, and the left wings were very much like, no, you have to be like freedom of speech. You know, you have to give people the opportunity to understand, discuss, and whatnot. But it's those more extreme left-wing people now that are very much
against freedom of speech.
It's completely opposite. If you do not agree exactly what I say, then you're wrong and you're horrible. You're,
you know what the problem
which is insane.
I think people don't. I always say, like, always put yourself in the other person's shoes. Like, say for example, if I was, well, I am an Asian person, and there was a BNP, and we was talking, and I think. I have to think like them first. Like, why is he upset? Why is he so angry? Why is he thinking? I got to look a bit on myself and my community as well. Like, you know, am I bit of the problem? How can I fix myself? Maybe he needs to look at himself first. Okay, cool, fair enough.
Now, why do I hate this person just because?
But what about me as well? Like, am I playing a role? Has my community played a little role?
No, but that's dangerous as well, because that means you're putting the blame on yourself. It's
No,
almost like victim blaming.
No. Don't get me wrong. I get what you're saying, but I always love to look at myself first.
Yeah, but I think where the main issue lies is sometimes, like,
here are some things that you can do when your phone's offline.
Where did that come from? Was that your phone?
Yo,
that scared me. You know when you start talking about VMP, then all of a sudden things. Now, what I think, so the way we look at racism right now, yeah, it's like we're just attacking everything. It's like right now, yeah, we're looking at all outcomes and just being like, yo, if there's not level of, like, should there be equality of outcome in every field, in every situation? And also, if we did have a world, yeah, where everyone had the equal opportunity, would we ever have equality of outcome?
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing as equality of outcome, because within any society, there's always going to be a hierarchy. Within every field, there's always going to be those who are better in a particular field than others. But going back to your point about the BNP thing, is like, when it comes to racism, to me, it's a case of you have to ask yourself, why do I hate someone because of? That to me is the problem. Do you see what I mean? Racism is not like, because now we look at racism from so many various spectrums, and we're attacking everything on individual. But really and truly, it is that case. It's like, wait, why am I not going to hire Imran and then I'm going to hire Tim just because Tim looks like me more? Do you see what I mean? Like, that is the fundamentals of racism. And once we can eradicate that, then the rest will fall with it.
So it's such a complex issue, yeah. So everybody's got an element of racism in them.
Oh, 100%.
Everybody has, because you want to be closer. You naturally are drawn to people who look like you, who act like you, or come from the same place, or hold the same values, or maybe not just racist, discriminatory. Do you know what I mean? And biased. But what we need to do, again, as a global community, is start holding each other to account. Start holding ourselves to account, you know? It's just like, you have to ask yourself, exactly what Imran said. It's like, you have to look at yourself. Why do I hate this person? Yeah, what's going on with me? What's happening in my life? That, cool, I might, you know, like people that come from the same country with me or whatever, or the same area. Not even necessarily but want to be around those type of people. But why does that make me want to proactively disclude or hate or, you know, be discriminatory against someone that's not?
I think
not that.
No, I agree with everything you guys are saying, but I'm saying my point is like, I think maybe the example I gave with the BNP is a bit too harsh, you know. But I'm just saying, like, if you have an argument with someone, like, say if me and you had an argument. Like,
you want to see what
I want to see like what you're thinking, and why would you approach me the way you did? I might have done something to trigger you, or something might have happened. You know, you might have had a bad day, and I didn't think of that. Do you get me?
Yeah, no, yeah. That point is more clearer, but obviously the race.
Yeah, the race
is very. I read a book, an interesting book called Ordinary Men. So in Ordinary Men, like it's actually a true historical factual book. It's about a group of people who basically got turned into assassins by the German army. So they gathered ordinary men, like the local bakers, the corner shop man, the milk delivery man. Like, they just grabbed ordinary dudes, and they'll take them to these towns full of like Jews or whatever, and just be like, yo, shoot them. Like, just wipe them out, get rid of them. So these guys had to then question themselves. It's like, yo, we wouldn't do this in our ordinary setting. But once you're put in a particular environment, which is different from your normal environment, there's certain actions that you take. So for instance, if all three of us here were the same age we are now, we were white, blonde, with blue eyes, and we were in Germany during Hitler's reign, you know that you would take part in that. You'll be on the other side. So the thing that what I got from that book is that evil is not. The thing is, as a globe, yeah, as a world, yeah, we need to look at evil as in for what it is. Because what you got to remember is that evil is in all of us. We're the ones doing the evil. You know, it's other human beings that are doing the evil. It's not some random entity. I'm capable of doing anything else that any mad person has ever done in the history of this world. If I was in a particular situation, like if we were in Nazi Germany right now and we were working in Auschwitz, we would be complicit in the gassing of Jews. Do you see what I mean? And once you start seeing it from that perspective, you realize that, wait, some of those people that were in that environment at that time of the moment, maybe deep down they didn't want to do it, but they get driven by these ideologies that forces them and puts them in a situation where they got no other choice but to do that. So what I got from that book is that individual strength and developing an understanding of the evils of the world can make you a better person. Like, you're willing to then sacrifice more to do good, if that makes sense. So if you understand how the world works, if you understand how you work and how human beings work, if someone puts you in that situation, maybe you're willing to take a bullet instead of putting a bullet into 20 people. As mad as it sounds. But nonetheless, the evil is not just out there, it's within us. So we have to learn and understand what the evil is before we go out there and just be like, yo, these people are different from us. They're not humans as well.
But that's where your culture, your religion, your beliefs and certain things, if you're on that level and you've got that spirituality, it won't be an issue.
But then the spirituality is also part of the divide.
I know, but
because religions have been fighting against each other and fight.
Yeah,
but I think morality is a great part out of religion.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like some philosophers say that, like, if you was to remove religion from the world right now, like let's say we click the finger and we remove all religion from the world and humans took on individual morality, it would be madness. Do you know what I mean? Because if we take,
I would have dumped a lot of people by now.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
100%.
But your religion keeps you in check. Same way that when you're young, your dad keeps you in check.
100%.
Do you see what I mean? So it's crazy. Like, religion does serve a major purpose in this world that sometimes we don't appreciate on the deeper scale. We just look at it as, oh, there's a whole bunch of people that are serving like an invisible God and some random guy in the sky. But nonetheless, the morality side of it is essential for keeping us in check as a human race.
Really, really interesting. Really, really interesting.
Tim's thinking, what would he do?
What would I do?
If there's no morality
What would I do?
and lack
So
of it.
That's the thing. So where he started, when he's saying, you know, if you was in Nazi Germany at the time, I was just thinking about what about, you know, your own personal principles, values, morals, you know. But then after he went on to say, actually, yeah.
But at that time, your morals, your principles are guided by the Nazi party, right?
That's what I was talking about, ideologies. Why
You gotta think-
they're dangerous.
Germany actually loved Hitler. The actual country actually, a lot of them loved him and were thinking what he was thinking, or he put it into them.
I don't think he put it into them.
It was there.
I actually think
He just probably...
I looked at it from a different angle. Yeah, as the more I started looking into Hitler, was that in order for what Hitler to say to infuse people, those people must have had some of those beliefs. And what you got to
Already,
understand
yeah.
is the reason why those people have beliefs is some of the reasons why we see it now. So, for instance, during that time in Germany, they had a threat from the Soviet Union. They had a threat coming from one side, and also they had an internal threat that they felt was a threat, i.e. the thriving Jews. So already you feel as tribalistic as you are, your people are being attacked. So the Germans within Germany are thinking, oh, my people are being attacked from left and from right. But now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I wish my people were as dominant, or were the dominant, even though they were the dominant, but like we wish we were more dominant and these other people weren't around. But you're just thinking that. But now you have someone that speaks it out publicly and loud. So everything gets amped up. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I've been looking at Hitler differently, from a different angle. I'm thinking maybe he just spoke into them and enabled them to speak up on the deep racism and hate that they had within themselves.
Yeah.
It's almost like Tommy Robinson coming out and being like, yo, don't let all these people come down to London and take down your statues. Do you see what I mean? So there's a lot of people at home thinking, I don't like these protests, I don't like what's going on. And he's infusing that. It's like, yeah, now he's rowing them up.
I think, again, when it comes to I know this is probably a bit off the topic, but we was talking about the statue of Churchill. And I said, I don't know about how you guys feel, but I think that no one should touch it. It's at the end of the day, it's not really our country. Like, as much as I was born here, but I don't know how to exactly put it, but I feel that's part of the British history. No matter what it was part of their history. Like you were saying about if you go back home to Pakistan,
with
Ghana, Nigeria, wherever, there's so many statues of so many tyrants. Like, why are people not doing anything about that? But when it comes to...
I think it's about perspective, isn't it? And this is very much our country, just as much as, you know, back home is as well. You know, because we've picked up a lot of the cultures. Like you say, you're born here, you know, and you pretty much will probably stay and die here. You know what I mean? And again, it is very much about perspective and how you want to see things. And it's not just about British history, it's about history, do you know, because he was integral in terms of the World War, do you know? So I think it's difficult. And that's where we've come to what we was talking about social media a little bit earlier around cancel culture and all this type of stuff. You can't take one single element and wipe out other positives as well. You have to look at it from a reasonable perspective. Maybe instead of just taking down statues, we should start looking at actually, let's start putting up statues next to them. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Of like the Asians that
like
fought
a
in
timeline
the war,
of history
in the wars as well.
It's like an inclusive timeline of history.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
I'm not gonna lie.
That's a good shot.
But don't get me wrong, the slave traders were a bit.
But even that, so okay, I didn't even know about my man in Bolton, Colston. I didn't have a clue. But the thing is, whenever like what this done, it brought the idea to the forefront. It brought the history to the forefront, and I had to do my history to now find out. Oh, raw, that's what he done. He killed about 80,000 people. Like, yo, he was shipping them back and forth. But as you say, history is such a delicate part. But so I agree and I disagree with the statues going down. Yeah, and to me, it depends on who is going down, because the reason being is that okay. I don't know much about the Churchill history, but I know that he said some vile stuff, some racist stuff. Yeah, but then he also done some great and fantastic stuff. So on that ground, I don't want him to go down. Do you see what I mean? I don't think he's enough, because I think what Hitler what Churchill said. This is why it goes back to the humans again, yeah, and us being honest with ourselves. What Churchill said, yeah. I'm sure there's about 50, 60, 700 people right now that I talk to that says the same thing every single day right now. I'm definitely sure about that. I'm 100%, because there's evil within all of us. We all say some mad stuff.
When no
Yeah,
one's,
but then the thing is, maybe with Churchill, the issue that it became an anger thing because he was in a position where he could implement policies that affected those people that he didn't like, and that's when people get agitated about it. It's like, yo, if he said he hated the Asians that much and called them beastly creatures, what did he do to the Asian community? What policies did he put in place that's possibly affecting them now? Because he was in that position to put those policies. So that's one way of looking at history. But then there's the other way. It's like, okay, his part is done and dusted now. But he's also done some great stuff and he's been remembered in his country. Boom, do your
Let him
thing.
do his thing,
But
yeah.
then us ethnics that are here now, those who classify themselves as British, those who got British passports, whatever, they feel like they're a part of the history as well. So it's like, yo, if I'm a part of the history and I'm gonna feel comfortable in your country, I can't have this man over there.
But that's
it,
what,
all of this mad stuff.
that's
about
what I'm
it.
saying. It has to be a place of, you know, equal dialogue. You know, you have to be able to. You can't just point the finger. Simply because I am, you know, whatever ethnic background you have to, or whatever your principles are, whatever your faith is, you have to listen to me, and what I'm saying is right, and that's it, because I'm the only person that's been affected by anything that's ever happened in history. No, there's white people that grow up in poverty. You know, right now, British white English, not even British English white people growing up in poverty that don't have access to good education, healthcare, and whatnot. What about the you know, adverse you know, effects that's having on their lives, you know, and their
100%.
children, and so on and so forth, simply because of where they live. You know, there's people, when you go up north, people are in you're either in manual labour or you're in service jobs. You know what I mean? You get people calling up and they always have northern voices.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But all the money's down in the southeast. That's not their fault that they live up there. Do you know? But we're not thinking about that. So we have to look at it at a place from actually, do you know, let's be much more inclusive. Let's actually have an open conversation. I don't like what this man's done, but what you need to do is remember my history. And African
We're
history is
part of
world
it,
history.
yeah.
You know, Asians took part in the war as well as black people.
Yeah.
So actually what you need to do is we need to identify those, let's have an honest conversation, identify those people that were actually harmful. Do you know, like that slave trader, harmful people that really done some real harm to our communities. And then after, let's have reasonable conversations about other people, like Churchill. Although he said some bad things, he done a lot of good for the country that we live in, you know, the country that we love.
And possibly for the globe.
For the globe, for the globe, it's the truth. So, and on top of that, once we have a conversation, identify the bads, identify those ones that cool we can keep or we can, you know, come to common grounds on. Now, actually, how do we celebrate our inclusion in all of this? Because without us, it couldn't have happened. Do you know? And how do
But
we
I think
start?
a lot of people forget that as well. Like, I'm not saying the average folk, but you know, these far right, you know, people, they forget that probably more Asians.
Sometimes they know they don't care.
No,
You
but
gotta understand.
see-
When you got deep hatred, you're blind.
Friend,
You're blind.
No, I
You're
don't think.
blinded, yeah.
I honestly, I don't think they know.
Yeah.
Purely, or yeah, you might be right, but I think personally, I love to think that they don't know.
Do you know what I think that's the fault of? That's the
Because
fault
they
of the
don't-
education system
Yes,
in history.
no, but-
Do you remember anything from history?
No, but
Apart from the guy who tried to blow up Parliament,
Tudors and Stuarts and
what's his
couple bits
name?
in there.
Guy Fawkes.
Guy Fawkes. Apart from Guy Fawkes, I don't remember anything from history lesson. And that's because history is not honest. Do you know what I mean? And history doesn't look at all perspective. Because if we're in Britain and we're studying even British history, forget the world history, everything's
but
supposed
then
to be
it come- but
included
then-
in the honest.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Because that's why those people that you're talking about don't know.
Yeah,
because
I know, but-
history is not taught.
Yeah, but then
accurately.
it's our job as well to
But-
educate other people as well. Like, have that conversation, have that dialogue. Hopefully, like, you know, even if you get that knowledge onto one person, they pass it on. But yeah, I do agree that they should teach it in schools, but I don't know, we're a bit far from that, you know.
Yeah, but that's the thing that should be
And
looked
then
at.
how would the
I don't know if we are far from that,
How,
do you
no,
know?
I think how would the white British person feel their children are learning about?
But it's a part of their history.
I know,
Yeah.
but do you understand?
I get it, yeah.
Because you got to understand, we might feel it's our country, or certain people might feel it's their country, but really they feel more of an entitlement that it's their country. So imagine now, I'm using this as an example. Like, imagine in Pakistan or something, they start teaching some next syllabus or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? How would they feel? And that's not even a country where it's got too much of that, you know, liberalism.
The difference is this is a multicultural country, innit? This
Yeah,
is
fair
it's
play.
a diverse country, innit? So you look at Pakistan, and after you look at the demographics are Pakistanis. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but this is not. Do you know? This is. Don't get me wrong. It's overwhelmingly white.
No, but I'm not gonna
do you know,
lie.
but we still have a very large demographic.
It really hurts me when I see, like, you know, on D-Day and all that stuff, and poppies and that, and they don't show no black or Asian person.
But that's the thing. We're
Because
not holding them to account.
Yeah, I know this. Like my parents' families, everyone, most of our families come from an army, navy background, and they were part of the British Empire. So I'm thinking, wait, these people were fought alongside or for the Queen
It's
and
like,
country.
how many World War movies have you seen and you saw black people in there?
Bruh. No, but when you
Do you know
see,
what I mean?
Even the more,
let me just-
you know,
film.
the newer ones. You
No,
don't
but
really, you don't really see it.
on a straight, yeah. When you think of like poppies, D-Day, what comes to your mind? An old white man, isn't it?
Old white man.
And I'm thinking, wow, but like my granddad and that, them man fought for this country.
But that's the thing. Much respect to them, but we need to hold them to account, and that's what we're failing to do as a community. Do you know, we can't be saying, you know, these type of conversations that we, and this is what the problem is. Yeah. So a lot of given everything that's happened recently, yeah, I've taken a lot of these issues to work with me, and I've been holding my superiors to account and saying, actually, do you know what? We need to be standing up in front of this, because you look at the demographic of our workforce. It's a significant amount of, you know, people from BAME backgrounds. So I'm holding them to account, and what I'm doing alongside that is bringing colleagues with me that are at a senior level, and excuse the pun, but I've got a white knight as well. Yeah. So someone that stands up in front of you, there's someone that's more senior, who's more influential, that stands up in front of this and say, what Tim is saying is right. We need to do better as a workforce, as a community. Yeah. Now that's what we need to be doing within our community. But what happens all the time? A petition comes. How many people sign it? Oh, we're just trying to get a million whatever signatures. How many BAME people are in this country? You're trying to only get 1 million signatures because we don't really care. Because all people really want to do is focus on their life. You're just thinking, yo, I just had another kid. I don't really care what's going on. I'm just trying to, you know,
live.
I'm just trying to pay my bills, you know. And then after someone's wife's cheating on them, it's like, yo, my G, I'm just trying to sort out my wife. Do you know what I'm saying? So
time to sign it.
exactly. But we actually need to think about the bigger picture, and all this type of stuff. Having these conversations are really, really good, because it's educating ourselves. It's ensuring that we stay on top of topic.
It's generating thought as well.
Exactly.
People,
But
stimulating thought.
having these conversations in the corner between ourselves don't make change. What makes change is having a diverse group of people in a place, and people that can actually action this type of stuff. So we need someone that's white, you know. We need someone that's Jewish. We need someone that's Chinese.
I love
someone
open
and so
dialogue
forth.
to everyone. I'm not into the whole that you're not allowed into this conversation.
Exactly.
It doesn't solve anything at
doesn't.
all. That's
Because-
been one of my issues with
But
a
you
lot
know
what's
what?
happening.
It's not.
Also,
It's not a me problem. It's
I
not a
think-
black problem. It's a us
It's a
problem.
us, yeah.
I think sometimes talking isn't enough.
Nah, talking is not enough. But that's what I'm
Because
saying. We
I
have to
feel
hold them to account.
sometimes, like,
You just want to burn things down, burn everything down.
I wasn't even gonna
Right.
go. I wasn't even gonna go that way. But I'm thinking the way you said that. Do you want me to go that way? No, I was gonna say, like, for example, the best example I can give. Well, you know this guy, proper BNP guy. You know, football hooligan guy. Do you get me?
Yeah.
And for years he hated.
Oh yeah. I boxed with him as well.
hated-
We're gonna say his name after this. Yeah. He hated.
He hated coloured people.
He hated us.
For real.
Yeah.
Tats, everything.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the only way I knew,
This is a great example. I know.
and I knew that he was what he was, isn't it? Yeah. And then afterwards, but I didn't let that. I didn't like put a barrier up. I actually brought him closer because I learned by pushing him away. How's he gonna learn about our culture and how we are as human beings? I was just being me, normal, like just like, you know, can I help you? Whatever. Do you need anything? And then slowly we started talking. A little bit of table tennis, a little bit of pool, whatever. And then we realised in dialogue, just talking to each other over the years, that, you know, all the thoughts have been planted into his head, and that us Asians, Muslims or black people, we're not what the, you know, far right people think we are. We're actually all right. and my guy's not like that no more.
Do you know what's great about that example? Yeah, so I know the guy as well who's talking about it. Yeah, I boxed with him. I came over to your workplace at the time and we used to box and stuff like that. And I was recently speaking to like an evolutionary psychologist, and he was saying like the greatest barrier breaker, yeah, is one, language, and also being in close vicinity and communicating with the enemy. That's the greatest barrier breaker, because what happens is when you have an enemy, it's all perceptions, and then those perceptions nowadays are being perpetuated by media. So for instance, whether it's black boys, whether it's black women, whether it's Asians, like if I've never met an Asian and all I've done is watch TV for the last decade, I'm gonna think all of you are terrorists. If I've never met a black person and all I watch is TV, I'm gonna think all of you are gangbangers. If I've never met a black woman, I'm gonna think, bro, she's angry, she's gonna bite my neck off. But what he says is, he says one of the beautiful things is like when you put these people together that have never like come close to each other, even if they might live in a city where there's diversity, he's not hanging around with these people. He's not working with them. He's not in their face. He's not speaking to them about what's going on in their community, what's going on in their life. So they're dehumanized. So he said the greatest connection is through communication and then being in the vicinity. So with this guy in particular, I remember when I first came there, I felt his energy straight away, like, oh, he doesn't know my kind. But now he's in the hood. He's working in the ends, do you know what I mean? But I could feel it that, yo, he doesn't know anything about us. Like, he's a bit standoffish, he's a bit wary. But obviously, us being the way we were, we kind of drew him in. It's like, obviously, they're with him every day, so they drew him in. And when I come in there, yo, what's good? Yeah, let's go boxing, let's do this, boom, boom, boom. And eventually, then he starts humanizing us. Do you know what I mean? He went from dehumanizing, it's all about the stuff that he's heard about us, the ideologies that's been planted into his head.
Some of the questions that he will say, like,
it's navy. And that's the thing,
wow,
it's like, how
do you really think like that? And I'm like, no. Like, where did you get this from? And he's like, no, that's how it is. That's what I thought. He goes, but you guys are not like that. And exactly, that's what I'm saying. You're right about dehumanizing us. Like,
100%.
we're this thing and whatever the media or whatever he's been told, that's what we are. But
and the people around him, he's stuck in the echo chamber with the same ideas.
I still speak to him on the phone. I message him here and there. And I think I use that as a prime example in any walks of life. So if someone doesn't really like me or doesn't like my skin tone, doesn't like my beard or the way I act, I don't take 2 steps back. I take 2 steps forward. I'm like, okay, cool. You're going to love me. Do you get me?
And then you're going to love my people.
Whether you like it or not. And then I'm going to cuss you because you know you're a racist. But that's banter.
Yeah, you wait for the banter to
I'll wait for we get to that stage. I'll get you with the white jokes after. But I'll bring you in. Do you get me? And I think that's what I meant by we need to look a bit at ourselves. I could have easily said, okay, no, I'm gonna take 2 steps back.
He's the enemy, so
he's the enemy, and then he's taken 2 steps back. Then we're even more further.
But that's exactly what you say. It's not just holding, the enemy to account. It's holding ourselves to account as well. How we're acting, how we're engaging 100%. With people. Because if we are saying, oh, you're looking at all black people like this, but walking around talking wild all the time, making noise, being at ASBO in the area. And living up to whatever they're saying stereotypes are, and I'm not engaging with the community and saying, oh, actually, this is not actually a true reflection of, my people, my community. Then what good am I? I'm as good as whatever's been shown on the news. You have to actually engage with your community. You have to engage with people you meet. Just like you say, take 2 steps forward and actually look. No, whatever they're saying on the news, that ain't true. The way that they show Africa, all it is jungle, river, jungle. That's mad.
And the kid with flies on his nose.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I find, with a lot of movements, that's one of the things I find scary, because I feel like although those movements are making great strides for change, it's also creating a bigger divide. Do you see what I mean? Instead of being collaborative, we're working like this now. Do you know what I mean? Because if you look at, so for instance, if you take the Black Lives Matter movement, as much of great work is doing, I also think in the background is creating more divide. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to fix the problem, but I can see it happening and it's clear for all of us to see. So I think the solution has to be globally. We have to get together. We have to stand for what's right. Do you know what I mean? And that's one thing I find is like, we all see that there's something wrong, something has happened which is terrible, something has continuously been happening which is terrible. If we're all unified globally, then that problem gets squashed. But instead, I think it kind of separates into sets and ideologies and movements, and whenever there's a movement, there's always going to be a counter movement.
Yeah.
You know
But
what I mean?
this is the thing. This is the thing. You can't get rid of ideologies. Never. It's
Yeah,
like,
no,
it would
yeah,
never
it's
happen.
built in on.
But it is very much a us issue. We need to fix it together, and by humanizing, you know, people. So like when you're going back to this, the Africa comment I made. When you ever go on TV, the only time, unless you're African, do you know what I mean, or interested in African culture, you're not watching the sitcoms, you're not watching the movies or nothing like that. All you're gonna ever get is halfway through your advert, you're gonna get a child that looks like they're dying or something.
With fly on his nose. That
You know what I'm
pisses me
saying?
off.
And that in itself is dehumanizing them. It's not showing them in, and I understand why they're showing it is to
Yeah,
draw
I was
emotions,
I was
exactly,
just
draw
about to
emotions
say
out,
that.
yeah.
That for me, like obviously I'm not African, I'm Asian. You do get a couple of Asian kids, but not as much.
But the problem is,
I'm not gonna
when,
say
when you see them so much, what happens? The same time, the same thing when you see
You stop
like
believing
the
No,
advert for a new
no, but
movie.
you
You
gotta
see the
under-
new whatever Marvel movie coming out, yeah.
Yeah, but Tim,
see
you
the
gotta
advert 10
understand what-
times, you're just like, bro, I don't even care.
but
you
Tim,
switch off.
What you got to understand is why do they have those adverts? Because they feel that it works. When that advert comes on, you get
Yeah, but it's also planting ideas into certain
No,
groups'
because they know.
heads.
Come on, do that. It's for them. I wouldn't say it's a business, but they know they
it's
paid
a
a certain
business.
amount for the. I know they paid a certain amount for the advert. At this time, the advert went on, and then they see a spike in their
The engagement goes
in
up.
engagement, social media, whatever, payments, whatever. They know this because technology's gone to that level, yeah. But for me, I think again, it's like most good things is a double-edged sword.
But this is the thing. There's two elements to it. Yeah, there's two elements to
'Cause
it.
that-
One is about the bias. Yeah. And
but Tim-
racial profiling to thinking
Yeah.
that's what Africans are like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what happens is you get that white family or Asian family even,
But that's
or
what
you
they-
get all those
that's their
families that
target
don't
audience.
engage with African people. Yeah. And they're looking at the thing and they've seen that. They've seen that advert 100 times. And it's
all the
like, yeah, that's
adverts.
I know what Africans look like already. I'm switching. Bam. So that hasn't helped, you know. It might, on the off chance, help the people that are first seeing it, you know, when you're younger, first seeing it, or you get a little bit older, you get a little bit conscious, something's happening in your life, it's like, look, cool, I'm going to donate. But then after, you have the other aspect of it. Exactly. Yeah, and that's what that's doing, is dehumanizing them, you know what I mean? Because it's showing them as a thing, you know. It's showing them as an issue rather than a human.
But then,
I see.
then I think.
And the second bit of it, yeah, is about the organizations themselves, you know, because we're allowing them to do that. Because why do we have to go through UNICEF? Why do we have to go through what's these people called Oxfam
Yeah.
for funding? We have the money in our countries.
Yeah.
We already have the money. We have the World Bank. We have all these massive economies. Why do we have to go through a charity to ask to come and fix something? Do you know what I'm saying?
You know what?
This is where we have to come back to the thing that we was talking about earlier on about morality. Do you know? Everybody should be at a place where you can eat. Like, why are people starving in the world? This thing that's happening in Yemen, how is it even happening? 2020, how are people starving to that degree?
We're like millions of people.
Yeah. I understand. Maybe if there was like a couple of families because something's happened to their village, you know, their water's been poisoned or something's happened, and then, you know, we can organise a response. But we're a whole country. A whole people is starving. That's insane.
With big things like that, that's when you realise that there's bigger agendas in place, which is beyond the average person. Because who are the people that are benefiting for this? Who are the people that are involved? You know, you got Saudi Arabia, you got America's involvement, sleeping in bed with Saudi, and then you got wars going on in the country between people that are not even in the country. So it's like that agenda is way beyond.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
then pay scale.
to the point where I haven't even heard this Yemen thing on the news. I didn't know about it.
You know what?
it's
It's one of them ones. Obviously, again, putting all that aside, personally, if someone said to me, "We can stop those," I would say they need to be a bit more creative with their adverts. That's lazy advertisement. You know,
like the donation to
donation. I think that's lazy. It's emotive, but then again, I also think maybe it's something that they feel that it works for them, and that's why they do it. They're not looking at the aspect of the negative effects, and maybe again, is the positive. I mean, is the donations, and is that more overriding?
But the thing is, all those donations, we all know what the administration fee and that.
Yeah, but bro,
No. You get about 20% that actually go to where it's supposed to go.
No, but still,
and then you don't even know who manages that when he gets there.
Yeah, fair play, but I'm on the thing here. You give it with a good intention, and you hope and pray it gets to the right place.
But you know it's not.
No, but
we know for a fact.
But Tudor, that shouldn't honestly.
No, it shouldn't stop you.
I think that's very I think that's very lazy for anyone to say, because of they take an administration fee or you don't even know if it's getting there or whatever. But if there's no way, like say for example, I got no connect in Gambia or somewhere.
Yeah, then that's fair enough. Yeah,
I got no connect, so I'm thinking, wait, how can I get? I seen this advert. How can I get my money to them? See the advert, I'm like, okay, cool, boom, I'll do it. Even though there's an administration fee, everyone needs to eat. I get that, but long as I know that some of the money is getting to that child or getting to a family or a child, and they're eating good, I'm happy.
Eating good?
No, not eating good. No, that's what I'm saying.
They got steak.
I'm not saying they're gonna have steak and lobsters. Yeah, but
I know you yourself, you feel good because you felt like you've done something, you've contributed for a great cause, and obviously that's the
and I
human
believe
in
you
us
have
feeling
to.
that we're doing something
honestly,
virtuous. You know?
I believe it should be mandatory.
So the last thing I want to touch on, so it's like
mandatory for who? Sorry,
what?
Mandatory for who though?
That everyone should But
you're talking about a religious point of view now, because obviously
no, I'm not even talking, bro. I'm taking. When we talk, I've taken on this. I've taken religion out of it. I'm saying that if everyone, okay, I know we give taxes or whatever. If maybe even cut percentage of that, if we could give it to, even in this country, there's people starving. You know, there are people. Yeah. You know, when people say, "Oh, how can people starve in this day and age?" Bro, there are people.
But this is what I'm saying. So mandatory for who? You can't mandatory for the people when we pay taxes already. When we're getting charged, they make billions out of parking tickets. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm saying
should
shit
be mandatory
like that.
for governments.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying shit like that. Obviously, in an ideal world, I'm talking, there should be a way of each person putting some money together and it's going to good causes.
I get your point. Is that
in an ideal world, I know it's not going to happen, bro. But
you're saying that basically we're at a stage in the world right now where we shouldn't really have deep adverse poverty and children starving and all of that stuff. I completely agree with that because we shouldn't really.
How it's going to happen, I don't know.
It's very difficult. Obviously, some people say tax the rich. I think slightly a bit about that, so that's another topic. But coming back to that subject, and you mentioned about the government should be making those payments. Do you think the lack of reparation or atonement for the past is playing a part in why there's such a there's such an issue going on right now, especially in terms of race relations and the history of black people? So do you think so? For instance, do you think that the the reparation debate that's happening in America right now? Do you think that will solve the
not even close?
Yeah,
not even close. Not even close. He give us 100 billion. Not even close. You could hand out $1 trillion. Not even close. Because it's not about the financial. You can't put a figure on it anyway.
Yeah.
What figure
how
you
do you
put against
calculate?
it? How do you calculate the pain that you've stolen people from their land? You've killed them along the way. They work for free. You've raped them. You've pitted them against each other to fight to breed the strongest. You've messed up their mind state where they feel that they're less.
Inferior,
You've dehumanized themselves, so they look at themselves like they believe they're less. To the point where they believe that, oh yeah, we've caught up now where I can get a job in America. I'm going to New York City. I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna be a lawyer. You get to that law firm, and my G, I don't care about your law degree, innit? Yeah. Go and work in the post room. Do you see what I'm saying? So how do you put a price on that? You can't put a price on that, So that's one thing. Not saying that they shouldn't give any, but you can't put a price on it. Yeah. Then the second thing is, what do we do with that money? Who's that money going to? Okay, it's going to individually, yeah? Okay, let's give it out individually. Imagine every single, how many Americans are there? About 300 million Americans, yeah? What's the other percentage of the population? I
think it's 13% or something.
About 13% of the population, yeah? Everybody gets what, $5,000, yeah? $10,000, $20,000. People are one, yeah? It's like, I think people misunderstand what America is. We look at New York City, we look at LA, maybe Atlanta now that the music industry's been booming, Miami, and we think America's popping. Once you leave those big states, once you leave those big cities or whatnot, there's nothing happening.
Yeah.
They've had states like Detroit going bankrupt. Do you know what I'm saying?
And Detroit used to make everything.
Exactly. And when you go further south, you start looking at the education as well. You know what I mean? You start looking at the level of education, and a lot of people are dropping out of high school before they even get to GCSE level. They've dropped out because, look, I need to go get some job. I need to make money some way. So by the time they get that money, they already owe money in taxes, you know, or whatnot. They're behind on their rent. They're already thinking, you know what, I'm putting this down now for my child to go college. But cool, your child's going to go college. But you haven't changed your mentality in how you're bringing up that child. So you're still bringing up that child with, a hood mentality. You know, it's like, yeah, all this type of language. You're not working on yourself to better them anyway. In lots of, and this is obviously a massive assumption in some part. So when they get all that money's going to disperse back into the community, back into these big companies straight away. So it don't even matter. If there's no plan, you can't ask for reparations. What are you going to do with it? The good thing that they have black banks there, innit? But people don't use the black banks. You know what I mean? They go to the ones that are most readily available. And they're not going to go to the back unis. Do you know? It's like,
and I think to me the issue is that the infrastructure is not ready to receive individual reparation. Not at all, because it's already proven how fast the money leaves the community. Anyway. So that means that our infrastructure is not there.
And where does it go?
We prefer to go somewhere else. We're buying our hair from Imran and his guys.
Exactly.
Our lawyers and our Jewish and that. So I'm thinking, if there was to be a discussion on reparation right now this year, I think it should go more towards like infrastructure, like education, most importantly, because the literacy rate in America is mad. They can't even read. I don't know how really bad it is, but when I read about it online and I hear about it, they can't read. Do you know what I mean? So I think if there was to be a discussion right now, it should be towards building stuff, not giving it to people. Because as you said, you don't even know how they're going to spend the money.
Who's going to be in charge of that?
That's another problem.
Who's going to be in charge of that?
That's for them to discuss.
Where's Obama at?
Who's going to be in charge of managing that money? So cool. We're going to give you 100 billion in reparations. Let's say we're going to give you 2 billion, whatever the figure is. We're going to give it to you, and we're going to manage it. That's the same thing that you've done. You're slaving us out again. You know what I mean? You're doing the same thing again.
I think that the leadership vacuum is one of the dangerous things that's going on right now. And that's why I don't mess with a lot of movements, because I don't think there's clear guided route. And without leadership, to me, I find it's chaos.
Yeah, but that's the same thing, because it's an ideology. We want equality. You know, we want this equity. But the people that are doing it, you know, they don't. How are you going to manage, 100 million people? How are you going to manage 1 billion people across the world that are feeding into this movement? You can't manage them. Yeah. You can put out messaging, but this messaging is not going to land with everyone.
And everyone interprets it differently as well.
Exactly. So you can't do that. So we need to ourselves build up those infrastructures before we even get the money. Because like you look at the amount of rich, I'm not going to say wealthy, the amount of rich black Americans.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of them, thousands of them, rich, millions of dollars.
Atlanta's got like a middle class, like a full black high middle class community.
And what's going on with that?
Like with mansions.
They need to completely build up an infrastructure, where that money then can come in. Where they've already built the infrastructure, they know where it's going to go to. It's going to go to certain neighborhoods. It's going to go to the schools there and whatnot. But to say, oh, we want reparations, all right, then cool, my G. Here's a bill. Do what you want with it.
I'm in the hood. If I'm in the hood, I'm buying a strap, bro.
Straight. Do you know what I mean?
I'm picking up some food, bro.
I'm taking the money. Bam. It's just like, what do they wait? What do they wait for? Their taxes.
Oh, yeah,
the back taxes, and they go splurge, and they end up in the same position. Their baby needs new diapers. And obviously, I'm saying the worst case scenarios, isn't it? You're gonna get a couple of people that do well with the money, but most of the people that receive that money will use it to survive the next couple of months. There's no need.
More deeper than that, isn't
it?
Yeah, they have to change their thought process.
Yeah.
But I think also, like, I know I keep saying that, again, it's us, we don't, like, a lot of people, they look on, say, like, black businesses, they're like, fuck that, I'm not going there, or Asian business, like, fuck that, I'm not going there. It's like,
we don't support our own.
Yeah, we're ingrained to trust
but
the
okay,
Tesco's.
But this is the same thing. We need to hold ourselves accountable. We're opening business. I'm going to open a business now. I'm going to open a jerk joint, innit? I'm going to open, a jollof shack. I'm going to open something, innit? And then people come to my business and say, yo, Tim, I heard you make the best jollof. Hook it up, innit? And I'm like, yo. It's not even one of those ones today, innit? I'm chilling today, innit?
Yeah.
That's not business. You know what I mean? We're giving off bad vibes, and we know we've experienced it. Let's be funky with it. We've experienced it. Yeah. So we need to do better ourselves. The same way we're saying, look, do not treat us like we're less than equal. Alright, and cool. Let's hold ourselves up in a manner where we know we can, live up to that. It's just like, all of our business are operating functionally. Imagine you went to Tesco's now and said, "Yo, where's your halal meat, bruv?" And the man says, "Bruv, I'm not even working today, innit? Like, I'm not on it today." You're gonna be like, "What? Are you on crack?"
I don't care.
I'll just take the business to Morrison's, innit? Because Morrison's are popping off.
Yeah.
Same what they do. We go to the shop. We just go, "Yo, ma'am, I want a jerk patty. I want some, I want some jollof.
Me not have that.
Me not have that. Alright, then, can I get some soup then? Me not have that. Can I get this? Me not. I said, no, fuck this. You go straight onto Uber Eats. Yeah, I want a Chinese. I'm off. I'm done.
Yeah, definitely. So the focus should be like on quality.
But I don't even think like, okay, what do you guys feel about, the way they say, support black businesses?
I support quality business.
What do you think?
I support business that either one, I support what I want at the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if I'm hungry and I'm feeling like Chinese, I'm gonna go and buy Chinese. I'm not gonna go and just eat like jollof rice in a goosey just because I'm supporting a black business. I'm not on it. Like, do you know what I mean? I want what I want, and at the end of the day, like, I do support businesses that are owned by black people, but that's because I acquire or like I desire that particular product at the time. I'm not gonna force myself just because. Do you know what I mean? That's what comes down again to like what black leadership. You can swap one oppressor for another. You just end up looking like you, but he's oppressing you. Exactly. As Americans are now realizing with Obama, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he was a great leader in the sense that he looked like us and he made us feel good. But when you really look at it, he sent more bombs than anyone else had previously to him. He done less for the black community than, you know what I mean, than the rest of them. It's all the same. Do you know what I mean? They just dress differently. It's all the same setup. So at the end of the day, I'm not just going to go to a black business just because they're black. I'm going to go there because I want the product or I know that it's a good service.
Don't get me wrong. I'll try proactively support them, but it's very much, again, if they don't have what I want, I'm not going to feel no way.
In terms of supporting the community, I'm supporting other ways. Like, yeah, I got a platform now. If I see one of my guys that's got a business and he's doing well and he's black, I'm eager to get him on because I want to expose him to it or whatever. And like, I'm eager to get in touch. Like recently, one of my boys, TJ, he's TJ Atkinson. He's been on the podcast before. So he put up some funds together. Like, he raised money from other entrepreneurs and stuff. And he was donating to small businesses or startups. And he was giving like £1,000 to different ones. And he gave these two young girls, like, because it was part of the whole Black Lives Matter movement and his incentive. So he gave these two young black girls who had a home, some face mask company. They're like 8 and 9 years old, really like cute little girls. And he gave them £1,000. And I was so happy, like, I'm seeing my own doing something great during these times as well. So I contacted them straight away. I was like, if they whenever they want to come on the podcast, I think their sister controls their social media. I was like, whenever they want to come on the podcast and get their business out there, I'm more than happy to promote them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I did that because they look like me and I felt like I was contributing and helping my little sisters or my little siblings or something. Yeah. So that way I'll do my part, but in terms of forcing myself to buy certain products just because, that's not going to happen.
Why don't I feel like that then?
What, to help you?
No. I'm not saying help my own or whatever, but I won't care like what colour they are. If I see like a little white girl and I feel like this girl, she's putting the effort in.
But it's because it's different experience. Like, the experience is completely different. What you gotta understand is, so like, one thing that I had to come to terms with is that even though like my personal lived experience has been good in life, because in comparison, what you gotta understand is that the experience of black people in general is way different.
Exactly. Okay.
Way different. Do you know what I mean? With Asians in particular, you guys have managed to build like a economy. Like, your money circulates within your community. You guys have businesses beyond believe. You can go to whole strips where the whole road is full of Asian shops. Do you see what I mean? Like, you guys got family that had businesses before you. You guys are like second generation of business owners. We're first. If do you know what I mean? If I don't build, then there's nothing for me to pass on to my kids.
But a lot of that's assumption as well, man. Not everyone's
No, but it's clear to see. Like, we know that economically.
I know, but then again, it's like everyone assumes that.
Not every Asian, obviously.
Every Asian boy we're all cool because someone in our family has got a business or whatever.
But I think what the important point is the whole, innit? It's not cherry picking any particular person. It's the whole.
Oh, you just say that.
When you're looking at the whole, it's like the experience of black people. It's like, we don't have that where Asian people have established, an economy for themselves. They have established, processes and networks for themselves. So you have the option.
No, but,
do you know what I mean?
No, but what is stopping the black community for having a road of themselves.
Well,
Like,
there you go. So why are we gonna go give them reparations?
but like on the serious, this is actually me
So,
asking a question.
no, this
Why
is-
don't you have a green street?
Exactly.
Or do you
so
have a
why are
green
we gonna
sheet?
go give them reparations?
We need that before you give them.
You have to.
No, but okay, no, I'm just walk me
This-
through this.
this-
I'm
this-
saying like,
So
I'm saying
who's got-
why don't you? Okay, we have a green street, yeah. I don't know how it came about, yeah. Okay, maybe the migration, whatever. Then they slowly thought, you know what? Okay, cool. Why don't black people have that?
Why?
I'm asking you.
Right, so again, look, it's such a complex thing, and so many things come into play with it. But a big part of it is obviously our history, you know, and recent history, the last couple of 100 years, and what's happened between black people and how they feel about themselves, how they see themselves, and how we've had to navigate life.
No, but Tim,
facing.
no, wait, one sec. Quick thing. Business is business. When you know there's a demand, you supply that demand and you make money, and that's basic business.
Okay.
So what? So you're saying now there's not a demand for African products, or there's not demand for thingy? Like, why can't that be
Okay, but
consolidated?
the problem is you're not hearing what I'm saying. It's how they feel about themselves, isn't
Oh,
it?
so they feel they're not on it. Like.
No, so it's how they feel about it.
'Cause
So
I know
one,
most-
they feel that they may not be capable enough. Others, it's like, no, you need to go through education and go get a job as this. You need to go get a job that you're gonna keep for life. Go be a banker. Go be a surgeon. Go be a doctor. So on and so forth. Yeah. To go into business for yourself, no, it's too risky. We need to be
Okay.
risk averse, you know,
Okay.
because we need to secure the next generation.
Okay.
We've kind
But-
of just learned how to survive.
Okay.
And-
Security, basically.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, like that's what I always preach to people. I'm like, look, we need to learn the game of capitalism, because if you understand capitalism, that's how you gain power. Do you know what I mean? Like, you go look at all the other communities that are playing the game really well, the Jewish, the Asians, whatever. Like, they learn the capitalist game, and I genuinely believe, yeah, as much as it might sound radical to some, that I think capitalism it helps fight the victimhood of slavery and oppression, because everyone respects money. And if your community has money, then they'll respect you.
Yeah.
If your community doesn't have money,
money.
yo, we don't respect you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't care
Exactly.
about
You're not
you.
bringing that into
And
the
then what you
table.
got to understand is what Tim is saying is that our experience is different in the sense that when I go out into the world, yeah, people are looking at me as a representative of my community.
Okay.
So my opportunities are based on how my community is perceived. So if I go into a law firm with you for an interview, or with Tom, or white dude Tom, and we get an interview, that small little element, you know what I mean? It plays a part.
So Tom's getting it, basically.
It plays a part. I don't believe it plays the full part, and I don't think racism is the answer for everything.
No,
but
but
I do know that
No,
it
but-
plays a minute
know what,
part,
you know what?
and that's effective in
You know what?
developing.
One thing I've told you this before, something that I heard on your podcast before is what your sister said and what you said, and it sticks with me, and it's something I would say to my children. It's like you said, be the best.
Yeah,
and
make
they
yourself
can't-
undeniable.
And bro, they can't deny you. They can't deny you. Okay, I get it in certain stages to even get to that level, but because it's really, really hard, not everyone can do it. But
Yeah.
that sticks in my head.
Yeah.
So are we doing the best?
But that's the thing. That's why I think
Are we
in
being
our
the
community
best?
in particular, we've got to like we got to talk about the solutions, like even on a micro level. Yeah, there's big systematic stuff, but you can't scream and shout at the system for change and expect the system to be like, oh, here you go, mate, take the change that you want. Because the system, some of the white people that you're even screaming at to kneel down, they don't even understand the system. So why are you begging people and shouting at them to kneel down for your own self-gratification? It doesn't even work, because they don't even understand what's going on in the bigger scope of things. So I think we've got to start talking to ourselves in terms of the macro things, something that we can change. Like, how do we control our families? Like, how do we have better family setups? How do we get involved actively in our children's education? How do we make sure our children can read? How do we make sure our children understand business? How do we make sure our children understand money, finances? So these micro things, these are the things that create genuine change. Because at the end of the day, you can go out on the street screaming and shouting, but then come home and your child can't even read, and you haven't even checked their homework for
Exactly.
5 years.
So what's it come back
Do
to?
you know what I
What
mean?
we said right at the beginning, this whole stuff, accountability. We need to hold ourselves to account. We can't be pointing the finger to be saying you lot need to make the change for us, or you can't be saying.
You can't give them the
Exactly what I'm
power.
saying. No, you need to be holding yourself to account as well. Yeah, I'm telling you, you need to hold yourself to account because you have power already. What am I going to do on my side? I'm going to ensure, like Francis said, I'm sure my kids are
You
educated.
know what it is?
I'm sure they have opportunity.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel with governments in general, I feel very demotivated. I don't feel that.
Yeah,
they-
but I think people
That's why I
expect
don't-
the
that's-
government
No,
to-
I'm not
to
saying that. I
save
don't
them.
expect the government to do nothing for me. That's a lock off for me anyway. I don't care about that. I'm saying for me personally, I don't have faith in them. I lost faith in them time ago. Do you know what I'm saying? I've lost faith in them. So I'm like, I need to survive myself and how to do that. I think people need to have that a bit more mentality,
Exactly, but this is like the human nature. We are too lazy to think for ourselves. A lot of people, innit? We're too lazy to come up with the solutions. Exactly what Francis just said. We can point a finger. We say, kneel down for us, innit? Feel our pain and all this type of stuff. But where's the solution? What's the actual solution? Because all that's doing, like kneeling down, is putting a plaster over. It's not dealing with the issue itself.
Self gratification.
Your leg's broken. But you just can put a plaster over it. It's broke. You need to go have an operation. You need to fix the issue itself.
I was saying this, like, say for example, if you were part of that movement, would you kneel down?
Yeah, because it's solidarity. You know,
you're just showing you're part of that.
Yeah, because representation, what you're seeing, visualization is a big part to play as well.
I wouldn't even be out there on the street to kneel down in the first place. No, but I've got my own personal reasons why, and my personal is different. Like I support. I love my people. I'm very tribalistic, and by nature, by kind, everything. And I'm gonna do my part to ensure that my people are empowered, and that's by making sure that I'm in a good state. Number one, I make sure that my family are educated and are in a good state. I make sure I build a wholesome household, because in that way I'm creating an effect that's making us better and bigger. I'm building a legacy for my family to carry on. I'm not going to put my family in a situation whereby they continue this endless cycle. But my issue with the movement and why I'm not out there personally, is because there's lack of leadership and clear, concise direction. So to me, I'm just going out there either for my own self-gratification, or I'm going there for social approval or whatever it is. And I can't do it. It's burning me, because I believe in the movement. I believe in a lot of the things that's going on, but I can't do it when there's no clear guidance. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like there's a manifesto. And when I look into the manifesto of just the Black Lives Matters as a brand and a business, I don't agree and like that either. So I get worried that my people are being misled, because I don't know where the money's going. Do you know what I mean?
Or even where the money's coming from.
And once I don't know that, I'm worried. I'm hearing that it's going towards charities and organizations that help the community. But loads of people have traced it. I haven't traced it myself, so I don't know if this is 100% fact. But majority of people that have traced it realizes that it goes back into political parties, which is one directional. Do you know what I mean? And I find that unnerving. Do you know what I mean? And in that sense, I can't then go out there and support something which eventually might not be exactly what I want personally.
So this is the exact thing. So when you ask me, you saying, would I? Yeah. So I didn't go out. Yeah. Okay. For another reason. But again, exactly the same thing. I am supporting for my own way. I'm making.
I don't say that anyone has to go out there to show that you're doing something. I'm not saying that.
But that's the thing. I find a lot of people are doing it for self-gratification.
People are going out there for social media pictures.
Exactly. But having these type of conversations and actually making changes in the places where you feel that you can make changes, like I was saying earlier, at work. You know, I know I can make a change there for the people that will be working for an organisation like my own. You know, so I'll be doing it in that way, ensuring exactly like you said, your household, your family, your legacy, understand what it is that they need to do to ensure their security, ensure their future, you know, and build us up as a community.
And educating and passing that knowledge on to people in and around you, man.
Exactly.
But yeah, guys, man, it's been a pleasure having you guys on LetsDoHumans podcast, man.
Well, I was thinking, why did we go so deep, man?
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought I was coming here to chill, bro.
It started fun, and then
do you know what? It's essential conversation to have, and that's the reason why I do it, because I wanna expose people to different ways of thinking, and I do it on purpose. It's like I go into it, people thinking that it's all chaotic and not making sense, but I want to draw people out, because it's essential to get people thinking. Because I mean, I grew up not thinking deeply about stuff and not thinking why this, why that is happening. But now I'm trying to, and I'm trying to put out the process of me learning out there simultaneously. So then it's like people are learning with me as I'm going along on my journey.
I'm not gonna lie. Just thinking here, there's two things that I've just thought of. One, I'm missing my kids now. You've been talking too much about it. And the second thing is, like, how do I improve our communities and how do we make them excel? Because sometimes them brothers, they don't want to excel.
Maybe that's a discussion for the next
Yeah,
podcast.
that's the next one, bro.
Come with the solutions.
You guys are here now, so it's a full blown thing, bro.
I've been trying since I was like yay high, man.
Boom.